just as I am looking at the sky with a feeling of refreshment. Heavenly rejection phenomenon, huh? I've heard it's a very rare phenomenon. Living long enough, it seems I've got to see it myself. Jairyon, who has approached me at some point, looks up at the sky with curiosity. The legend about the heavenly rejection phenomenon says that those with qualities even the heavens envy receive heavenly tribulation earlier than others. It seems you truly are a genius worthy of the heavenly rejection phenomenon. Hazai. Genius. There can't be a word less fitting for me. That's too generous of a praise. Generous? I didn't even recognize your talents at first, and it was Cohrial who brought you to the demon race. Really, some people have an eye for talent. Remembering Cohrial seems to put Jairyon in a good mood. Her cheeks flush with a rosy hue. I sigh quietly to myself as I watch her. Should I tell her? But no matter how much I think about it, revealing Cohrial's truth right away seems too cruel. I decide to slowly reveal it over time. By the way, now that you've fully refined the Black Dragon's true blood, are you planning to return to the Sea Dragon Palace? Yes, of course. When I return, I will definitely arrange for Senior Jiu and Sir Cohrial to meet. Him, it's not like I must meet him well, Her face turns even redder as she shakes her head. Enough about Cohrial. Now that you've reached the core formation stage, can you return on your own? Yes, of course. I remember the location of the Sea Dragon Palace well. I see. Then could you deliver a letter on your way? Jairyon hands me a letter folded in silk. This is. It should be delivered to Elder Ho Yol of the Azure Peng race. Yes, I understand. Do you know where Ho Yol is? I can enter the 7th floor, the life floor of Serving Command Arc, and inquire there, can't I? Well, all right. As long as the letter arrives within 3 months, I'm counting on you. Yes, I understand. I bow to Jairyon to express my gratitude and then take to the sky. Whoosh! The flying escape technique of the demon race feels different. But should I call this a flying escape technique? The flying escape technique of the Heaven tribe involves borrowing the energy of stars engraved in the golden core to hide in the speed of light and move quickly. However, the gliding technique of the Earth tribe amplifies life force by rotating the yin and yang energies around the body, then strengthens the flesh to run through the sky recklessly. Unlike void stepping, it's not about stepping on the air's resistance but creating a platform of spiritual energy by manipulating the flow of yin and yang in the air and jumping on it. That's how the demon race flies in the sky. It's an efficient form of void stepping. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I fly using both void stepping and the Earth tribe's movement technique. Void stepping reduces the consumption of power, and the Earth tribe's gliding technique increases the amplification of power. I can fly even faster with less energy. Welving. Furthermore, as I draw upon the power of the Black Dragon, yin energy gathers around me, creating dark clouds. Welving. This is quite comfortable. I ride on the dark clouds, moving at the same speed I was shooting through just before. Riding the cloud technique taught by the bloodline of the Black Dragon, I continue to move forward steadily. After inquiring about the location of the Azure Peng race and Elder Ho Yol's residence in the life floor of Serving Command Arc, I use the teleportation array there to quickly move to the residence of the Azure Peng race. The Azure Peng race lives outside the territory of the Dragon race, in a valley called Heavenly Heart Valley, and interestingly, despite being birds, they swim and live in the water below the valley. After briefly exploring Heavenly Heart Valley, I delivered Jairyon's letter to Elder Ho Yol. Elder Ho Yol, who is at the same 4-axis stage as Jairyon, sighs deeply after receiving my letter. This Earth Tribe naming project, who in the world proposed such a plan? But I remember what Cohrial had told me about this plan. A plan to identify all names within the Earth Tribe, and for those without names, to create and manage them with names. Since names contain fate, the plan is to read the overall fate of the Earth Tribe based on the movements of those with names. Though the plan itself is good, I find it a bit absurd. All the wild beasts and birds born on the field are part of the Earth Tribe to manage them all by giving them names. It's like saying we should give names to every bug by the roadside. Even at the very least, it's a project that will take more than 500 to 600 years. As I think so, Elder Ho Yol of the Azure Peng race sighs and speaks to me. By the way, what do the Dragon race think about this foolish plan? Is he asking me? After a moment of thought, I only mentioned Coatrial's stance. I am just a low-ranking member, so I do not know much. But Sir Coatrial of the Sea Dragon race, whom I serve, is actively in favor of this plan. He said it is absolutely necessary for the future of the Earth tribe. For some reason, Coatrial had indeed shown a very positive response to this entire Earth tribe naming project. Hearing my words, Ho Yul sighs deeply again. Managing the names of the entire race by one group, what could be more foolish than that? It seems they think if the human race can do it with their names registry in the Cloud Island archipelago, the Earth tribe can do it too. But the registry established by the human race in the Cloud Island archipelago is possible because they are a single race. The Earth tribe is not a single race but a collection of numerous demon races, and managing all their names is preposterous not to mention. The Earth tribe already lacks administrative power. How much more will this plan waste? But since his words are spot on, I nod along in agreement. After listening to Ho Yul's complaints, I stay in the Azure Peng race territory for a few days, getting acquainted with several of them. Then I slowly tour various areas of the Earth tribe territory and return to the Sea Dragon Palace over 2 months. Swoosh! Riding on clouds, passing mountains and rivers, I open my eyes wide towards Cloud Heart Lake, where the Sea Dragon Palace is located. Wow, it's changed tremendously in the meantime. Around Cloud Heart Lake, large coral reefs have grown. Literally, coral reefs growing on land. In the coral reefs, much like what I had seen in Jairion's cotton farm, numerous slave races are working. Due to their presence, the area outside Cloud Heart Lake is quite noisy. Coatrial is starting another strange business, huh? I glance at the slaves briefly before trying to enter Cloud Heart Lake. Then my gaze inadvertently fall on the overseer managing the slaves. The overseer managing the slaves with stern eyes is a bipedal goat. I look again, thinking I have seen wrong, but it is still the same. There, as the overseer managing the slaves in the coral reefs near Cloud Heart Lake, stands a bipedal goat. Biknyong no. They are goats. Members of Biknyong's race are managing the slaves in the coral reefs with whips in their hands and stern eyes. Beautiful coral decorations are wrapped around their necks. How did this happen? I will find out the details once I meet Coatrial. I descend, and as soon as I reach the barrier of the familiar Sea Dragon Palace, the expressions of the Sea Dragon race guarding the barrier dramatically change. Ah no. You are. I reveal my appearance, having refined the black dragon's true blood, showing off black antlers and black scales. At that sight, the early core formation gatekeepers of the Sea Dragon Palace look at me with disbelief and surprise. The human Sir Coatrial brought. Why would someone like you refine the black dragon's true blood? If we had received the true blood, we could have become stronger. I look at them and grin. Stop the nonsense and open the gate. A human like me needed a recommendation to participate in the immortal beast blood fusion, but Earth tribe demons like you can freely apply as you meet all the conditions, right? Provoked by my taunt, they grit their teeth but open the barrier of the Sea Dragon Palace. As soon as I enter the barrier, the space ripples around me. Wowung. Space opens and through it, I can see Coatrial's office. He is sitting comfortably and gestures for me to come in. Welcome, have you been well under Senior Jayu? I approach Coatrial and speak. Senior Jayu has been very kind, so I've enjoyed my time thoroughly. That's good to hear. I didn't expect refining the black dragon's true blood would take this long. You might need some rest. We've built new rooms throughout the Sea Dragon Palace during the expansion. How about taking a rest in one of the new rooms? Coatrial seems to be plotting to send me to a suspicious room immediately upon my arrival. I finished refining the true blood in just 1 day. However, Senior Jayu entrusted me with delivering a letter, which led me to visit the Azure Peng race among others, hence the delay. I preemptively inform him that I have already made acquaintances within the Earth tribe community, preventing any schemes. I hope you've formed good connections. In the path of cultivation, connections are precious. Especially for us who live long, a fleeting moment can forge a connection. Coatrial designates the connections I made as fleeting, questioning if there would be any further meetings with them. Though brief, our camaraderie deepened, and I've arranged to meet a few of them again soon at the Serving Command Arc especially. Many are interested in discussing the Earth Tribe naming project you mentioned before. I firmly informed Coatrial that I made plans, preventing him from any further mischief. Serving command arc, you're still at the core formation stage. Isn't it dangerous to go there? After fusing with the Black Dragon's true blood and gaining the power of the mighty dragon, I believe there's nothing more in the Earth Tribe territory that can threaten me. He seems unwilling to allow me to leave, using my cultivation level as an excuse, but I leverage the name of the Black Dragon. Coatl chuckles and nods. If that's the case, then go ahead. Discussing something as important as the entire Earth Tribe naming project, I'm reassured. Thank you. Phew. I feel drained from the conversation with Coatl. A single slip-up can mean being confined to an unknown room, undergoing a transformation by Coatl in a different manner than the Mad Lord. I'd rather dance barefoot on blades, as I internally break into a cold sweat. By the way, you haven't had a chance to greet him. The one who caused a disturbance at Senior Jayu's farm last time. Introduce yourself. With a flick of his finger, Coatl opens a spatial rift, and Beak Nyon pops out. What's this? Beak Nyon, you've seen him last time. This is Seo Yun Hyan, one of our late-stage cultivators of our sea dragon race. I hope you two get along well. Yes, my lord. Beak Nyon kneels naturally in response to Coatl. Is this person not from the Heart Tribe? Correct. How come? Has he brainwashed a member of the Heart Tribe? But Beak Nyon's intent seems normal, showing no signs of having been brainwashed. How? The White Goat race, including Beak Nyon, were enslaved and mistreated throughout the Bright Cold realm. I used my power to buy and liberate his kin from nearby farms. Then, I made arrangements for them to live as a ruling species in the coral reefs operated by our sea dragon race. Though not suitable for cultivation, making it hard for them to learn methods, they seem satisfied with their changed lives. I look at Beak Nyon. Did he not see Coatl's heart essence? Or did he see it, but also saw that his people were being saved at the same time? What is clear is that Beak Nyon has become loyal to Coatl, influenced over these few months. I swallow. He knows I've manifested my heart essence. Did he report that to Coatl? No, it's obvious. There's a 100% chance he did. That means Coatl is aware I am from the Heart Tribe and is conversing with me knowing that fact. What should I do? Play dumb. Having acquired a revered member of the Heart Tribe, there will be no one to hinder Sir Coatl's path now. Haha, you flatter me too much. Not at all, Sir Coatl is surely. I feel it while talking to Coatl. Coatl, this guy. He has become even more difficult to deal with than before. Previously, it was somewhat possible to guess his intentions, as he easily leaked intent. However, after spending a few months with Beak Nyon, there is almost no disturbance in his emotions. Damn it! The already difficult to deal with snake has become even more challenging after taking the Heart Tribe under his tail. But I haven't just been sightseeing these past few months. I made acquaintances with the Azure Peng race among a few other races. I formed connections unknown to Coatl. Since Coatl wouldn't know whom I've met and what connections I've made, he can't treat me recklessly anymore. You might have thought you had me completely under control, but once I slipped through your fingers, controlling me wouldn't be easy as before. By the way, did you say you're heading to the Serving Command Arc in a few days to discuss the entire Earth Tribe naming project? Yes. That's great, I'll join you. Yes. I look at Coatl, questioning. He smiles. I, too, have a significant interest in the entire Earth Tribe naming project. And so a few days pass. Coatl and I enter Serving Command Arc. Damn, he's a tough one to deal with. I think about Coatl, who is smiling beside me. For now, he hasn't said anything about me being from the Heart Tribe. Given his nature to use anything to his advantage, he's likely keeping the fact that I'm from the Heart Tribe hidden to use when necessary. It seems there's no need to worry about that. What worries me is that he is following me around, monitoring my every move. I did say I'd meet some of the bonds I formed today. Strictly speaking, being of mere core formation stage cultivation, I haven't formed strong friendships with the higher-ups of other demon races. I merely used Senior Jayu's name to barely secure a spot to attend the discussion on the entire Earth Tribe naming project. As long as my true foundation doesn't get exposed to Coatl. Together with Coatl, we head to the discussion meeting on the 7th floor regarding the naming project. Ah, you've arrived. Oh, and this must be the Sea Dragon races. I am Coh Rial. Ah, noble Coh Rial. Pleased to meet you. I am Ho Yol from the Azure Peng race. Coh Rial, being a 4-axis stage dragon, easily attend the discussion due to his status. Initially, I was supposed to watch the meeting from a far spot behind Ho Yol, but unexpectedly, I found myself participating in the meeting right next to Coh Rial. Damn it! I manage my expression while sitting next to him, but just the fact of being next to him makes me feel like I am going insane. After a while, representatives from the 13 major Earth tribe races, all 4-axis stage cultivators, sit around the round table and commence the meeting. The representative for the dragon race is a black dragon named Hyun Chao, and Coh Rial and I sit next to Hyun Chao as observers. First of all, this foolish plan called the entire Earth tribe naming project should not exist. Ho Yol, the elder of the Azure Peng race, vehemently slams the table. It's a waste of administrative effort, and even then, it's doubtful whether it will show any clear effect compared to the act of the Heaven tribe observing celestial energy. On the opposite side, the representative from the Supreme Tiger race growls in response. While I agree it's a foolish plan, it's not useless. Whether it's necessary or not, we won't know until we try, right? Does managing the names of the entire Earth tribe seem easy to you? It won't even be properly managed. Ho Yol's outcry is met with a nod of concern from the elder of the Yin Ghost Black Turtle race. Although managing names might seem trivial, as you all know, names carry fate within them. What we're trying to manage is the fate of the entire Earth tribe. Even grand cultivators at the integration stage are unsure of managing the fate of their own race, so how can such a reckless plan be executed? You're right, elder of the Yin Ghost Black Turtle tribe, names indeed contain fate. However, what we're trying to do is not to interfere with fate, but to observe the flow of fate through the management of names. Hyun Chao from the Black Dragon race counters the Yin Ghost Black Turtle race elder, and the meeting is filled with heated discussions. Coh Rial watches the scene and smiles faintly. To the Dragon race representative, may I, Coh Rial from the Sea Dragon race, a branch family of the Black Dragon race, speak a word. When the meeting's intensity reaches its peak, Coh Rial gently smiles and proposes to Hyun Chao. Hyun Chao seems about to say something, but then, suddenly furrowing his brows, allows Coh Rial to speak. I observe the scene, frowning. What, did they communicate something between them? It wasn't telepathy, nor did it seem like a spell or supernatural ability, as it didn't register on any of my senses. Coh Rial always had some connection with the Black Dragon race. It seems to be a method only Coh Rial and the Black Dragon race can use. Coh Rial stands up, smiling gently, and looks around the assembly before speaking. Good day, I am Coh Rial, the head of the Sea Dragon race, a branch family of the Black Dragon race. Since the atmosphere seems overheated, allow me to briefly summarize the opinions of both sides. Coh Rial skillfully summarizes the meeting's opposing views. He then begins to transform the argumentative meeting into something resembling a debate-like forum. Rules are being established in the meeting. A meeting of 4-axis demon cultivators might seem to be a dignified affair, but the reality is different. Every participant, relying on their brute strength and brutal instinct from a lifetime of cultivation, believe that the loudest voice and the strongest race's power are the only truths, leading to no productive discussions thus far. However, Coh Rial listens to both sides' claims, seemingly organizing their arguments, finding a balance between them, and uses that balance to create rules for the discussion. How about we require permission from the moderator to speak from now on? Before long, Coh Rial takes over the role of moderator from Hyun Chao, who was initially leading the meeting. Well, I quietly marvel at how Coh Rial adeptly mediated the demon beast's disputes and took control. So the opposition to the entire Earth tribe naming project feels that the plan is not worth discussing. That's right. Then may I ask Hyun Chao, who is aware of the Heaven tribe's example, to speak. Even after taking control, Coh Rial doesn't use his position to express his opinions. Instead, he gives more speaking opportunities to Hyun Chao or those in favor of the naming project, subtly steering the discussion's atmosphere towards its favor. Half a day passes. Now, the entire Earth Tribe naming project has been decided to proceed under the agreement of the 13 major Earth Tribe races. I trust there are no objections. None. No, I'm satisfied. Noble CEO's suggestion was excellent indeed. Haha, turning those who don't participate in the naming project into elixirs and distributing them among the races is brilliant. Thus, the bizarre plan of the entire Earth Tribe naming project was set to motion as CEO Atrial wishes. The nauseating proposal to distribute the opposing minor demon races into elixirs or resources among the major races was also disgustingly realized by CEO Atrial. I have a question, if I may. I asked CEO Atrial as we returned to the Sea Dragon Palace. In places unseen by CEO Atrial, I had been meeting and forming agreements with demon races opposed to CEO Atrial's words, so there should no longer be any risk of being silently eliminated by CEO Atrial. May I boldly ask why you pushed so hard for the entire Earth Tribe naming project? I doubt he'll give a straight answer. Yet I am curious. What exactly is CEO Atrial aiming for with his obsession over uncovering names? CEO Atrial speaks up. The bright cold realm is predominantly made up of nameless demon beasts. That's right, many among the demon tribes are not born as such from the start. Do you know about that? What are you referring to? Swoosh. CEO Atrial arrives above the Sea Dragon Palace, at the sky over Cloud Heart Lake, and points to the heavens. There's a legend in the bright cold realm. A legend? Do you know that the name of the bright cold realm wasn't originally bright cold, but vast cold? Vast cold. I recall the vast cold Jade, polluting and eroding the devil realm with spiritual energy, and the vast cold formula, the basis of demon-beast methods. Both contain the name vast cold. I didn't know the meaning of vast cold, but was it the old name of the bright cold realm? I apologize for my lack of knowledge. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. That's understandable. This is a legend known only to few. Long ago, before the blood yin realm and the true devil realm were separated, true devil, nether ghost, ancient force, purple gold, and the vast cold realm were all considered equal middle realms. However, after the ancestor of the dragon race ended the war with the true devil realm, the vast cold realm lost its ancestor and became a world coveted by the other middle realms. CEO Atrial splits the space, stepping directly into his office within the Sea Dragon Palace, continuing his story. One day, the leaders of the vast cold realm convened to discuss their dire situation. They realized that if things continue as they did, the vast cold realm would be completely plundered by the other middle realms. So, they decided to rename the realm. Once inside the office of the Sea Dragon Palace, CEO Atrial uses a communication artifact to call several sea dragons to his office. The summoned individual are all nascent soul stage elders of the sea dragon race. I stand listening to CEO Atrial's story. They sought a divine mandate, fate, from the heavens to bestow the vast cold realm with the most auspicious name, and thus, the vast cold realm was given the name Bright Cold, symbolizing light. Light. Since the bright cold realm was bestowed with the name Light, it has always been followed by heavenly fortune. After renaming the realm, the bright cold realm became one of the strongest middle realms alongside the blood yin realm. This is an ancient tale explaining the importance of names passed down in the bright cold realm. Is this the history of the bright cold realm? Not history, just an ancient tale passed down. Whether it's true or not isn't important. What's important is that names can interfere with fate, and having many with auspicious names is a blessing for the Earth Tribe. In short, giving good names to the countless nameless demon beasts is a duty we must fulfill as members of the Earth Tribe. I see. Lately, it's been hard to tell whether CEO Atrial's words are true or false. After incorporating Bignon, his intent has become even more opaque. Nor is it easy to judge by looking directly at his heart essence. Doing so feels as if my eyes would rot from the exposure. How about it? Did that answer some of your curiosity? Yes, thank you. Haha, I'm glad to hear that. Do come in. Oh, and since you've refined the black dragon's true blood, you are rightfully a member of the dragon race, aren't you? Yes, that's right. Then, as a rightful member of the dragon race, I'll ensure your name is added to the dragon register. Thank you. The dragon register. The thought of my name being engraved on the skull of the dragon race's ancestors feels strange. Especially after hearing about the importance of names, it leaves me feeling uneasy. Once your name is on the dragon register, you'll be able to officially hold office within the Sea Dragon Palace and live with dignity. I am deeply grateful. After exchanging pleasantries with Cohl, I leave his office. Exiting, I glance at the nascent soul elders entering Cohl's office. Cohl rarely holds meetings like this. He always speaks to the elders or the council in public spaces. It's unusual for him to call the elders to his private office. Should I listen in to what they're discussing? I return to my room and begin eavesdropping on Cohl's conversation through a circuit. Soon, the words exchanged in Cohl's office are transmitted to me via the circuit. Thus, the entire Earth Tribe naming project will now be undertaken across all Earth Tribe territories. Additionally, since administrative personnel will be needed for the Earth Tribe naming project, I will select a few administrators from the Sea Dragon race to recommend as key figures for the project. There must be a hidden agenda. Honestly, the fairy tale-like story Cohl casually shared didn't seem very believable. It's unlikely that Cohl would undertake such a public-spirited task as giving good names to the Earth Tribe to lead them to prosperity. Your tasks will be in places where you'll verify the names pouring in from across the Earth Tribe territories. There's only one thing you'll need to do. Now, Cohl, what exactly are you scheming? Cohl's words continue. Find those with the characters for cause in and connection, yon/ in their names. Cause and connection. What exactly does he want? Let me specify the conditions one by one. The names will contain both in cause and yon connection, one character each. Those bearing these names will live close to each other, and if the races have genders, the owners of the names will be divided into male and female. Why does this feel familiar? Hearing Cohl's criteria somehow evokes a sense of déjà vu. These individuals are fated to be born near each other, fated to stay close to one another, fated to fall in love, and also fated to die on the same day. Wait. As I listen to Cohl's explanation, a certain couple crosses my mind. These beings are uniquely fated individuals, highly likely to be couples or lovers. If you find such individuals, bring their records to me. Even records from thousands of years ago stating the existence of such individuals will suffice. They are fated to reincarnate continuously, repeating their fate eternally. If you find any records, make sure to bring them to me. Why is it? Though it seems improbable, I can't help but think that the ones Cohl is searching for are the ones I know. Everything is for the prosperity of our Sea Dragon race if you follow me this time. As you did in the Head Realm, prosperity will follow us. Translator notes, donated chapter by Mortar, SJ8EGRT and Fatty Taoist. Thanks for the support. // Discord https://dsc gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 191, the one with a name too. If the Grand Prince orders, we shall follow. Elders at the nascent soul stage bow and pay their respects to Cohl. After arriving in the bright cold realm, Cohl descended from the rank of noble king and was granted permission to use the title of Grand Prince, and henceforth he was referred to as such. However, is the Grand Prince certain that the beings you seek are indeed ones born with a specific fate? Indeed. Cohl nods gently to the elder's question. It will not be easy to find those born with such a specific fate. If such a specific fate exists, then they must exist. However, they might not have been born yet, or they could have already grown old and died. It matters not. Even if it's just records of such individuals, send them to me. By gathering these records and discovering the pattern of their reincarnation, someday I might be able to predict where they will be born and go there. Yes, however, at the very least, it will take 300 years. I hope the Grand Prince will take this into consideration. Is there a choice? I'm lost in thought, listening to Cohl's story. What Cohl is talking about is definitely the children I know of, bearing the name of cause and connection, born close to each other as different genders, fated to fall in love and die at the very same moment. I have seen such individuals. Why is he seeking such beings? The more I know about Cohl, the more I feel like I am sinking into a quagmire. It's been like this since the Head Realm. Setting aside him being at the heavenly being stage, a realm I seemingly couldn't fathom to reach, he always seemed to have plans beyond my imagination, acting accordingly to them. What can it be? What are Coatrial's desires? I must increase my cultivation as soon as possible. Anyway, once I reach the nascent soul stage, I should be able to find a way to survive even in front of Coatrial, who is at the 4-axis stage. To converse with him on equal footing, I must at least reach that state. Wriggle, wriggle. I look at the glass box stored in my room. Inside is the wriggling centipede that had followed me from the head realm, a connection bestowed upon me by the serving command seal. When I first met it, it was an egg laid by the mother centipede I saw in that village. In my past life, when I first started living by the Azure Heaven Creation Sects way, I raised it using the books regarding demon beasts I obtained from the West Spirit Gate Elder. I made insect feeding pills that were said to be beneficial for demon beasts and did not spare support to ensure it adapted well to the spiritual energy in the bright cold realm. My efforts were not in vain, as the centipede lived well until I was dispatched to the devil realm. However, perhaps due to its lifespan as a centipede, it died of old age just before that. This time it's the demon race territory. I wonder if it can live a bit longer here, awakening as a demon beast. While looking at the centipede, I suddenly think about names. By the way, have I not yet named this fellow even now? I feel a bit sorry thinking about it. Even if not in this life, in the cycle where I was with the Mad Lord, it had been of significant help to me. To think it lived for several years without a name made me feel guilty. What would be a good name for you? Names carry fate. As Coatrial told me, in the ancient tales of the vast cold realm, a good name brings a good fate. It would be best to give it a good name. After some thought, I decide to name the centipede during the upcoming Earth Tribe naming project. If it's such a grand plan, it should be able to give it a good name. Moreover, the Earth Tribe naming project involves reading fate and assigning names to the Earth Tribe according to it. If it gets named there, the centipede will receive a name perfectly suited to its fate. Just wait until it's implemented in a few months. I feed the wriggling centipede, pondering. The centipede seems to have no particular thoughts. The Earth Tribe Naming Project. A task to collect and manage the names of all Earth Tribe members, and for those without names, to provide them with one. Since names contain fate, the plan is to manage these names and indirectly observe the overall fate of the Earth Tribe by watching the trends of the names. This plan, carried out by Coatrial and others, is finally implemented today, just under 2 years after the regression. The nascent soul elders Coatrial sent to the True Dragon Alliance periodically sent him names that met the conditions he had requested. Of course, while the names were correct, hardly anyone met Coatrial's specific conditions. It seems that the whole Earth Tribe naming project is just an excuse, and finding the owners of the names is Coatrial's real purpose. Given Coatrial's personality, he probably has little interest in philanthropic tasks like understanding the fate of the Earth Tribe. He merely pushes for this because it provides an opportunity to compile the names and records of the Earth Tribe spread across the world into one place. His true intention is merely to find the owners of those names. Good morning to the Grand Prince. I head to Coatrial's office to offer my morning greetings. Oh, what brings you here? Coatrial seems to be concocting elixirs, having set up an alchemy furnace in the center of his office. The faint smell of blood suggests demon cores are involved in the process. I heard that the Earth Tribe naming project has been proclaimed and implemented across the entire Earth Tribe territory. Haha, indeed. Coatrial smiles slightly and stirs the contents within the alchemy furnace. It seems all 13 major races are satisfied as well. My proposal must have sounded appealing. Indeed. To those opposing the naming project, Coatrial proposed a plan to capture minor races and demon beasts from the mountains and rivers, turn them into resources, and provide them to the opposition. With his proposal, the opposition unanimously agreed to the naming project, and it was implemented to everyone's satisfaction, except for the minor races sacrificed by Coatrial's proposal. Although the process is revolting, I am not yet at a level where I can do anything about it. I was hoping to have my close friend's name given during the naming project. Oh, a friend of yours. Does your friend not have a name? Yes, my friend still doesn't have a name, but they are quite precious to me, so I want to give them a good name. Haha, understood. I'll make sure to ask my naming officer to take good care of it. So, who is this friend? I take out a glass box from my storage scroll and show Cohreal the centipede. Cohreal looks at the centipede with an amused expression. Is this little one your friend? Yes. Him. I notice Cohreal's intent slightly wavering. Lately, it had been difficult to read Cohreal's intent, but it occasionally shows in such ways. Cohreal seems to be regretting something. He must be disappointed because he thought of using the centipede as a hostage, but now that he realizes it's just a pet, he sees no value in it. The likelihood of him feeling regretful for such a reason is almost certain. After a moment of observing the centipede, Cohreal smiles and says, "Such a cute friend, take good care of it. Then I'll continue with my elixir refining." Cohreal throws 2 demon cores, one imbued with yin energy and the other with yang energy, into the alchemy furnace. By the way, are you not interested in alchemy? Although our demon beast alchemy differs from that of the human race, alchemy is an inseparable part of the cultivation path, and it would be good to learn. I appreciate the thought, but I am too busy with my own cultivation to spare any attention for alchemy. Is that so? But delve into alchemy, and the deeper you go, the more enjoyable it becomes. The enlightenment from alchemy is also connected to the enlightenment from cultivation. Well, when Cohreal adds the 2 demon cores into the furnace, a Jade symbol appears inside. The foundation and essence of the demon beast methods we cultivate are the circulation and rotation of yin and yang harmony. But I've realized something through alchemy since the lower realms. Cohreal takes out a green jade bottle from his storage scroll, pouring its contents into the alchemy furnace where the Jade symbol is swirling. This is called green standing acid. It has the property of preventing the mixing of yin and yang energies. Well, as Cohreal sprinkles the green standing acid into the furnace, the Jade symbol, which had been swirling, no longer merges and separates instead. However, what's fascinating is that yin and yang inherently seek to become one. Even if you add an elixir that separates them, the energies of yin and yang strive to mix. Well, true to his words, the energies of yin and yang within the furnace begin to rotate on their own, seeking to intertwine. And yin and yang rotate most violently when they are together, yet unable to mix. By separating the flow of yin and yang and maintaining a delicate balance where they almost meet but don't, yin and yang will rotate endlessly, generating nearly infinite power. What do you think? Though I discovered this through alchemy, it could also apply to our demon beast methods, couldn't it? Indeed, it's a remarkable discovery. Thank you for sharing your precious knowledge. Haha, sorry for holding you up. You may go now. What exactly does he want to say? After bidding farewell to Cohreal, I leave his office. Cohreal watches the endlessly rotating Jade inside the alchemy furnace in his office. Originally, chi is soul and soul is fate. Therefore, if chi and fate are ultimately connected. He smiles, looking in the direction Cohreal had left. Preventing those fated to meet from meeting can also create an enormous gravitational force of fate. Well, at the same time, a spatial rift appears beside Cohreal, and a figure dressed in white, similar to Cohreal, appears. Sir Cohreal, I'm having trouble understanding the intricacies of the summoning wind, true blood transformation. Come here, I have prepared an elixir especially for you. Crackle sizzle. As the woman in white steps through the spatial rift into Cohreal's office, the flow of yin and yang within the entire space accelerates, causing all the delicately installed spiritual energy circuits and magic artifacts to lose their light. The Mad Lord circuits installed by Cohreal also momentarily cease to function. Seeing this, she bows her head, seemingly embarrassed. I'm really sorry, Sir Cohreal. I always seem to fail to control my power. Not at all. Blinding unnecessary eyes is rather favorable. Come here, don't worry. I promise to help you meet your companions again to return to your original home. I have promised you that. Cohreal extends his hand to her with a gentle expression. The efforts you put into meeting your companions again is truly admirable. Keep striving. Buwung. Holding the glass box, I head to Serving Command Arc of the True Dragon Alliance. The top floor of Serving Command Arc seems busy, as always today. I find the administrative department on the top floor, where the naming project is being implemented. Did you say you came to be given a name? A demon beast resembling a stag beetle asks me politely. seeing me reveal my black dragon bloodline with stag horns and scales. Yes, but it's not for me, it's for my friend. Your friend is. I show him the glass box. This creature here. You might think it's silly to bring a pet for naming, but this little one once saved my life. I want to give it a proper name and, if possible, help it awaken as a demon beast. I see. The stag beetle demon beast looks at the centipede for a moment and then nods. Well, if that's the case, I have no reason to stop you. Especially since the dragon race views our insect race favorably, I'm grateful. Is the centipede considered part of the insect race? Well, anyway, I owe it a great debt. Hearing my words, the stag beetle carefully takes the glass box with the centipede. We will speak to our naming officer and arrange for a name to be given. And your friend, you wish to awaken it as a demon beast, correct? Yes. Then, after giving it a name, seek help from other centipede demon beasts. If they are of the same species, you might receive some assistance. If you wish, I can introduce you to some acquaintances I know. Oh, that would be greatly appreciated. It would be my honor. The dear beetle demon beast bows, expressing gratitude. Shortly thereafter, the naming officer of the Earth tribe returns the glass box containing the centipede with a paper bearing its suitable name. I wonder what its name will be. Curious about the new name of the centipede, I unfold the paper given by the naming officer. The name of the centipede was Hong Fan, Great Plan. That name is the most fitting for its fate. Although not as much as the Heaven tribe, our Earth tribe's naming officers are trained to lightly read fate through the flow of spiritual energy and cast divinations. A name given by such a naming officer will surely be the most suitable for it. The meaning of the name Hong Fan is. The naming officer, a polite deer demon beast, carefully explains the meaning of the name written on the paper. Thank you, I appreciate you giving it such a fine name. After expressing my gratitude, I leave the administrative area. Hong Fan. I look at the centipede, pondering. Why does this name feel so familiar? I can't help but think I had heard this name before. Well, I'll figure it out later. For now, I need to meet the centipede demons that the stag beetle demon had introduced. The 13 major tribes that make up the Earth Tribe True Dragon Alliance included the dragon race, peng race, peacock race, tiger race, fox race, horse race, monkey race, turtle race, phoenix race, shark race, ox race, hungry ghost race, and insect race. Among them, the dragon race is considered the most noble, while the insect race is seen as the most humble. Originally, the 12 races are descendants of immortal beasts with true bloodlines, while the insect race simply refers to a collective of all insect-type demon beasts spread throughout the Earth tribe, so it's natural. And now, I am headed to meet the centipede race, considered to be among the weaker factions within the insect race. Buwung. I quickly arrive at the location of the centipede race through a teleportation array leading to the insect tribe area. The centipede race resides in a particularly deep valley within the insect race territory. After meeting and chatting with the centipede demons introduced by the stag beetle demon, I successfully obtained a few techniques to awaken Hong Fan. Sacrificial name Spirit Steel Great Method, is it? After understanding the flow of spiritual energy running through the centipede's body, and inflating the centipede's body with spiritual energy until it's on the verge of exploding. A ritual is performed to strongly imprint its name in the centipede's consciousness, awakening its spiritual nature. Originally, this is a method used by the Heaven tribe to create their pet demon beasts, but as a noble with the true blood of an immortal beast, you should be able to achieve the same effect through the ritual. Hearing the centipede demon's explanation, I nod. If it's originally a secret technique exclusive to the Heaven tribe, then it's even better. Using the sacrificial name Spirit Steel Great Method, I won't need to follow Cohreal to the Earth tribe in the next life. I can awaken Hong Fan elsewhere, which is actually preferable. I pay the centipede race for the sacrificial name Spirit Steel Great Method and return to the Sea Dragon Palace. I'm sorry for not taking care of you until now. Looking at Hong Fan, who received a new name, I prepare the Great Method along with Yuan Yu. Let's go on together from now on. A ritual formation is laid out in the room. After deploying a soundproofing spell, I place the centipede in the center of the formation and activate the ritual. The sacrificial name Spirit Steel Great Method is activated. Wowung. Spiritual energy flows into Hong Fan's body, causing it to wriggle. I adjust the influx of spiritual energy to suit its body and manipulate the formation. Hong Fan come forth. Kung. As I call its name, the ritual activates, and the spiritual energy inside Hong Fan begins to tremble. Calling its name 3 times initiates the ritual to awaken the spiritual nature of an insect demon beast devoid of intelligence. Hong Fan come forth. Calling its name again, the spiritual energy within Hong Fan explodes and begins to transform. The explosion of spiritual energy turns into pure life force, strengthening Hong Fan's body, and the energy inside begins to settle and rotate. Hong Fan come forth. Kung. This time, an explosion loud enough for me to hear bursts forth from Hong Fan's body. It seems to writhe in pain, but enduring the pain, it finally allows the flow of spiritual energy to settle within its body. After calling its name 3 times, Hong Fan finally awakens its spiritual nature and ascends to the ranks of demon beasts. Jiruk Jiruruk. Hong Fan makes strange noises, looking around. An aura equivalent to the initial stage of chi refining emanates from it. Even if demon beasts possess spiritual nature, unless they are of a special lineage born from immortal beasts, they hardly have any intelligence until they reach the chi-building stage. Until reaching that stage, Hong Fan won't be much different from the centipede I knew before. I approach Hong Fan, look into its eyes and say, "Let's get along well from now on." A heavenly fate brought to me by the serving command seal. I wonder what help Hong Fan will provide me in the future. No, it doesn't matter if it can't help. Whether it helps or not. After all, it's a connection that found its way to me. I will do my best to assist this little guy. Recalling the teachings of Azure Tiger Saint, I gently stroke the carapace on Hong Fan's head. In this treacherous ice field of the dragon race's intrigues, stay with me. There will be many difficult and painful challenges ahead while under Coatrial's command. There was no one on my side in this sea dragon palace, but now that I have Hong Fan, I have at least one ally. From now on, let's persevere together. It's only been 2 years under Coatrial. Just 2 years, but feeling his benevolent gaze made it seem like 200 years had passed. However, to achieve my objectives in this life, including exploring the true intentions of the dragon race, checking on Ohisio's situation, and somehow accomplishing the theft of the heavenly lightning banner, I must keep enduring. I will endure and surely fulfill all my objectives. With determination, I look out the window of the Sea Dragon Palace with the newly spiritually awakened Hong Fan. Thus 5 years pass. Kurung Kururung. I inhale the gathering dark clouds filled with the energy of Taeyin, half opening my eyes. Finally, over these 5 years, I reached the stage of core formation grand perfection through human cultivation methods, and also approached the extreme limit of core formation in the demon beast methods. Now, it's time to properly return to the nascent soul stage. 7 years since regression. Well, 17 years if I include the time he tested me, but in terms of the flow of time, it's been 7 years. After 7 years, I stand at the threshold of the nascent soul stage, thanks to the power of the canvas of myriad forms and connections. Once I reach nascent soul, I'll be able to move a bit more freely under Coatrial. I will also be able to formally train in nascent soul methods. Then shall I return to the nascent soul stage. / */ Discord https://dsc.gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 192, the one with the name 3. Treading heavens is clearly different from ordinary cultivation methods. It attracts attention. The cultivation methods of the Heaven Tribe and Earth Tribe are clearly compatible with each other. At the pinnacle of core formation, gather the pure chi inside the golden core to leap towards the plane of soul. This is the realm of nascent soul in the Heaven Tribe's cultivation method. The state of nascent soul in demon beast methods is different. Compress the entire consciousness into the same form as oneself, and compress it all the way inside the demon core. When the consciousness itself coalesces into the same form as one's childhood inside the core, that is the realm of nascent soul for the demon race. Boeing. Currently, my core is in a rather mysterious state. The usual golden core of a Heaven Tribe cultivator is golden, with the celestial dominion etched on its surface, containing 28 stars and the positions of the 3 enclosures. The typical demon core of an Earth Tribe cultivator becomes golden when it transforms into a golden core, with the form of Taiji etched on its surface. However, my core is etched with both the constellations of the Heaven tribe and the Taiji of the Earth tribe, with the methods of both the Heaven and Earth tribes coalesce into the realm of nascent soul. Woven through the vast cold formula, the azure spirit starlight quintessence great method, and other methods like the thousand lustrous forest sea are activated at the same time, leaving the plane of chi and reaching beyond. Kaiing. As the consciousness compresses inside the core, the chi clustered inside simultaneously ascends to the plane of soul. Flash. I see the light emanating from the center of my danchan, and once again witness a familiar scene. Yin and yang rotate. I follow that rotation, revisiting past memories. Previously, I didn't understand what this rotation of yin and yang meant when ascending to nascent soul. But now, having learned the demon-beast methods, I can clearly understand. All of life's genetics contain the power of yin and yang. And between the power of yin and yang, the information of life is recorded and passed down. Likewise, human life itself rotates within the spiritual energy of yin and yang, continuously recorded in the world itself. My soul also contains the energy of yin and yang, and between them, my own records are inscribed. What becomes visible in the state of nascent soul, where chi and soul intertwine. That is the true nature of the vision seen in the state of nascent soul. Chi is life, and life is history. Having reached nascent soul through demon-beast methods, the earth tribe methods, I feel that I slightly understand what the black dragon said back then. Thus, I ascend through my own history, arriving back at the records of when I was born. Typical nascent soul cultivators would obtain their nascent soul at this moment, unaware of the gratitude felt at birth. However, thanks to the experiences of my past life, I knew the blessings received when a life is born and paused there for a moment. A man and a woman are holding a baby, smiling. I smile at the scene. Even though it's a scene I've seen before, it still makes my heart flutter every time. Thank you for gifting me life. Everything in this world is made up of yin and yang and taiji. Yin and yang can also be interpreted as kain and kun, heaven and earth. I deeply thank the heavens and earth that brought me into this world, stepping back into the realm of nascent soul. Flash. This place is above a small mountain range, outside the Sea Dragon Palace, away from Cloud Heart Lake. The surroundings are well protected by formations, ensuring no disturbances. Pod. A burst of white light from the center of the danchan announces the birth of a nascent soul in the form of a baby. All life, no, at least the majority of life, is born from parents. And for life forms that have genders, they are born from the amniotic fluid of the mother. Male and female have been expressed as yin and yang since ancient times. Among them, the male represents yang, and the female represents yin. Therefore, in the early stages of nascent soul, the nascent soul formed based on the memories of just being born from the mother becomes a yin spirit and takes its place in the golden core. As the yin spirit grows, starting to interact with the outside and begins to accept light, yang is added to the nature of the nascent soul. In the middle stage of nascent soul, both yin and yang spirits are cultivated. This process is expressed by likening the yin spirit to the moon and the yang spirit to the sun. The main stages of nascent soul are expressed as follows. Early stage of nascent soul, as constant as the moon. Completing the yin spirit and incorporating the night on the celestial dominion that has been created so far with the 28 stars and the 3 enclosures, finishing the starry skies map. Middle stage of nascent soul, as the rising of the sun. Completing the yang spirit and creating day with the morning sun rising beyond the night, dividing the sky in two to form the yin and yang spirits. Late stage of nascent soul, as long-lived as the 5 great mountains. After completing the yin and yang spirits, creating the 5 great mountains to support the completed sky as pillars. At this time, the 5 great mountains must be created corresponding to the 5 elements, so those aiming for the late stage of nascent soul must accept the power of the 5 elements into their body. A cultivator challenging the late stage of nascent soul with a single spiritual root must accept dharma treasures corresponding to the 5 elements into their body to use as the 5 great mountains for proper cultivation at this stage. The power of the 5 elements accepted at this time will play a major role when forming the axis in the 4-axis stage later on. Nascent soul grand perfection, unswerving and uncollapsing. Placing the yin spirit as the moon on the upper right, the yang spirit as the sun on the upper left. Placing the 5 elements as the imperial throne in the center, a map of the sun, moon, and 5 great mountains is drawn. Sitting at this imperial throne, one integrates the forces of yin and yang and 5 elements within the body, completing the nascent soul. That is the method of cultivating in the realm of nascent soul. The Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method was originally the most optimized method for the stage of nascent soul. The Azure Spirit Striking Origin technique symbolizes day, and the Starlight Protecting Void body symbolizes night. The 5 elements Enduring Origin Scripture provides the foundation for forming the 5 great mountains with the 5 elements. I contemplate the nascent soul I created by merging the methods of the Heaven Tribe and Earth Tribe. PSSSS. The consciousness concentrated inside the Danshan, while forming the nascent soul spreads out again to the surroundings. At the same time, I look up at the sky. Kurung Kururung. Towards the defier who formed the nascent soul. The heavens attempt to strike down golden, heavenly lightning. At the same time, towards the one attempting to escape fate, the heavens also prepare blue, heavenly lightning. Dual-colored lightning flickers in the sky, ready to fall upon me. Flash. A pillar of light filled with tremendous power falls from the sky. However, I am more concerned about something other than the dual-colored light covering the sky above me. That is, yin and yang, a massive taiji rotates in the sky. This is the demon race's vision. The flow of yin and yang is much more clearly visible. Yin and yang form all things. And beyond all things, they create planes and form space. Yes, in the demon race's vision, space is seen to be formed by the principles of yin and yang. Through this vision, it seems possible to cut through space directly. No, that's not the end. The taiji rotates in the sky. As yin and yang exchange power, heavenly lightning is formed in between and plunges towards me. Yes, I have become able to directly witness the formation of the heavenly tribulation with my own eyes. I see it. The pattern of yin and yang. The principle of forming heavenly lightning is clearly perceived. Then, if one traces back the power of the heavenly lightning formed between yin and yang in reverse. Kururung. I launch the power of Taiyin contained in the black dragon's true blood into the sky, rotating it in reverse to the taiji currently rotating in the heavens. Kururung. The yin energy of the lightning is neutralized by the black dragon's Taiyin, leaving only yang energy to strike me. However, as I exert my power, scales of the black dragon emerge all over my body. Simultaneously, following the method of the starlight protecting void body, a faint starlight envelops my entire body. It would be easier if I used treading heavens, but this place is in the heart of the Earth Tribe's territory, near Cohrial's base, so I refrain from using treading heavens. Instead, I launch a combined strike of heaven and earth method straight into the heavens. In an instant, the energy of the black dragon seeps into my arm, and 4 black wings sprout from my back. The azure wing heavenly shatter has mutated. I concentrate the power of the black dragon and azure wing heavenly shatter into one fist and punch to the sky. Take this. And that was the end. The dark clouds filling the sky are torn apart in a circle, revealing the blue sky, and I smile in the sunlight. Today, I have finally recovered the cultivation of my past life. No, with the addition of the black dragon's power, it should be said I have surpassed it. Clap, 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 clap. Applause sounds from beside me. The owner of the applause is Cohrial. Grand Prince Co, you've come. I'm sure I filled the surroundings with formation barriers in my attempt to challenge nascent soul. As expected, to someone in the 4-axis stage, formation barriers and the like mean nothing. While I was coalescing the nascent soul, Cohrial had somehow approached and is now clapping with a smile. Fortunately, Cohrial wasn't clapping alone beside me, which would have been rather eerie. Truly remarkable, Grand Prince Co, you were right. Jairion claps beside Cohrial with a smile of admiration towards me, who has achieved nascent soul after only 7 years since the start of this cycle. Over the past 7 years, I often invited Jairion to the Sea Dragon Palace to create opportunities for her to be with Cohrial. There was a promise with Jairion, but at the same time, it was to divert Cohrial's attention from me. Thanks to that, Cohrial and Jairion seem to have grown considerably closer over the past 7 years. Recently, Jairion has been almost inseparably attached to Cohrial. Your generous praise is above me. No, you truly deserve generous praise. Nascent soul in just 7 years. Not seen 10,000 years before and not seen 10,000 years after. There will never be another genius like you. Perhaps another star-shattering esteemed one from the Earth tribe will be born. You know you must not forget me then, right? Yes, Senior Jayo has always been a great benefactor to me. As I am exchanging pleasantries with Jairyon, Co Atrial subtly inserts himself between us and lightly hugs her. Of course, how could I not pay attention to the child I've noticed? But it would be upsetting if you two got too close. The tone that seems jealous of my friendly conversation with Jairyon makes her look ecstatic while I feel a chill. Recently, it's been hard to read his intent, but it's always eerie how casually such comments are made with that heart essence. Jealousy, affection, whatever it is, there is nothing. Just something dark and wriggling, as if something wearing human skin is pretending to be human. It's simply revolting. Jairyon says with a flushed face to Co Atrial. I understand. Anyway, Grand Prince Co, it's about time you tell us, isn't it? Ah, yes, that's right. Co Atrial nods. Is there something he wants to say? I tense up, listening attentively to what Co Atrial is about to say. This prince plans to leave the Earth Tribe territory for a few years to travel abroad. I almost burst out laughing, but kept my composure to listen to Co Atrial until the end. I ascended to the 4-axis stage as soon as I arrived in the bright cold realm, and I've successfully stabilized my cultivation over the past 7 years. Now, it's time to establish the axes and elevate my realm. You're starting the axis foundation practice. In the 4-axis stage, one progresses by establishing 4 axes. Yes, and recently, I've heard that the human race has been covetously eyeing the true devil realm. Before a war breaks out between the two realms, I plan to obtain materials for the orthodox axis foundation from other realms. The practice in the 4-axis stage is divided into orthodox axis foundation and heterodox axis foundation. The 4-axis stage involves creating 4 axes for progression. In the late nascent soul stage, one takes one of the 5 elements as one's own and places the other 4 elements in the 4 cardinal directions, completing the 4 axes centered around oneself, laying the foundation of one's own unique domain. This forms the basis of the 4-axis stage. For each axis created, the axis foundation practice involves conducting a ritual based on the power of the element adopted during the nascent soul stage. Heterodox axis foundation is when one kills cultivators who have mastered a single element and uses that element to perform a ritual to create their own axis. Orthodox axis foundation is when one obtains materials themselves to conduct a proper ritual and create an axis. Co Yunhyun, you're an incredible genius, but Grand Prince Co is also a significant talent in his own right. If he, unlike me, gathers the highest quality materials and builds an orthodox axis foundation, our dragon race will enter an unprecedented golden age. Jairyon says while looking at Co Atrial with a pleased expression. It is said the cultivation of the 4-axis stage through orthodox axis foundation, rather than heterodox axis foundation, is rare even amongst 4-axis cultivators. It's because it's easier to steal another cultivator's achievements than to laboriously gather materials and perform rituals yourself. To complete one axis through heterodox axis foundation, one needs to kill a cultivator of the same realm in the 4-axis stage, or 100 in the heavenly being stage, or 10,000 in the nascent soul stage to extract their attribute and use it for the axis. For ordinary cultivators, this temptation must be hard to resist. Especially in the case of the Earth Tribe, where the overwhelming majority are demon beasts and the law of the jungle of kill or be killed is commonplace. Therefore, heterodox axis foundation is overwhelmingly more prevalent. Moreover, Grand Prince Co is going to the other realms this time to obtain the highest quality materials for orthodox axis foundation. How impressive is that? You mean other middle realms? Yes, as you know, the 5 middle realms correspond to the 5 elements. Jairyon continues with the explanation. Bright cold corresponds to earth, true devil to fire, purple gold to metal, nether ghost to water, and ancient force to wood. As you know, the 5 middle realms correspond to the 5 elements, offering environments more conducive to cultivating their respective attributes. Twitch. Co Atrial's facial muscle twitched slightly at Jairyon's words. And as such, the highest quality materials for orthodox axis foundation are items imbued with the energies of these other elemental realms. So, Grand Prince Seo, you are setting out to gather the chi from other realms for this purpose. Yes, the reason why Orthodox Axis Foundation is much more esteemed than Heterodox Axis Foundation is because using high-quality materials for the ritual can make one much stronger than a regular four-axis cultivator. And if it's the energy from each realm, there's nothing more symbolic for embodying the five elements, making them the perfect materials. Twitch. Again, Coatrial's facial muscles twitch slightly. I concentrate as much as possible to understand Coatrial's intent. That intent is, it seems he wants to correct something about Jairion's words. However, he doesn't correct Jairion's statement and remains silent. Is he hiding something? I recall the moment Coatrial reacted to Jairion's words. When it was mentioned that each realm corresponds to the five elements, that's when he showed his intent. Perhaps, contrary to Jairion's words, the relationship between the realms and the five elements isn't so straightforward. By the way, as far as I know, apart from the true devil realm, the distance between realms is quite significant from the vast cold realm. Yes, so it can take around 20 years at the earliest and up to around 100 years at the latest. It will indeed be regrettable not to see Senior Jayu during this time. Coatrial looks at Jairion with a face genuinely expressing sadness about being apart from her. It's a lie. From the twitch of his intent when speaking of time, it can either be shorter or longer than stated. He then turns his gaze back to me. So before I leave this time, I came to ask you for a favor. Yes, please command me. Coatrial, with a smile, hands me a jade bottle. This bottle contains my true blood. Since the sea dragon race is also a branch of the black dragon race, there won't be any conflict. I haven't fully accepted you into the sea dragon race until now, letting you roam on the outskirts of the court. I'm sorry for not taking better care of you. Now, I've decided to give you my blood to fully accept you as a proper member of the sea dragon race. With the immortal beast black dragon's true blood, having condensed your nascent soul in 7 years, and now receiving my true blood, no one will be able to look down on you. By accepting my blood, even if I roam in distant dimensions, we can stay in contact through the blood. Accept my blood and become a liaison between Senior Jayu and me. Coatrial pushes the jade bottle towards me with a grin. Jairion also speaks up with a flushed face. If you become the liaison between Grand Prince Seo and myself, I, too, shall ensure your reward is substantial. I've invited Jairion to the Sea Dragon Palace countless times, preventing Coatrial from making moves against me. Yet now, Coatrial seeks to infuse me with his blood under the pretext of maintaining contact between him and Jairion. It's incredibly unsettling. However, the problem is that I have no reason to refuse Coatrial's blood. Once you assimilate the true blood of the Sea Dragon into your being, I will officially appoint you as a prince of the Sea Dragon Palace, and your name will also be vigorously promoted in the Dragon Registry. Jairion is also sending me suggestive glances with a flushed face, and Coatrial too is pushing the jade bottle towards me with a smile. This is a splendid opportunity for your name to echo throughout the dragon race. Would you kindly accept my goodwill? Translator notes, donated chapter by Ariman Glad Mortar and Augustus 63. Thanks for the support. / */ Discord https://dsc.gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 193, Betrayal 1. How should I do it? How can I gracefully decline Coatrial's proposal? Ordinary excuses won't work. This isn't the first time I've used Jairion under the pretense of gaining her favor, and now Coatrial is leveraging her to pressure me. Making any flimsy excuse will be a betrayal not just to Coatrial, but to Jairion as well. But running away by force is also not an option. Even if I reveal all my abilities of the Heaven, Earth, and Heart tribe, my power barely compares to the early four-axis stage. Using the Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace, and the canvas of myriad forms and connections might increase my strength, but only to a certain extent. It's impossible to shake off Coatrial and Jairion. So what should I do? Tusk. I accelerated my thoughts, frantically pondering in my head. If I agree to accept the blood, there's a high probability Coatrial will offer to assist in the process right here. With Jairion in front of him, it's difficult for him to employ any schemes. Being at the four-axis stage, it will be difficult for him to employ any tricks through spells either. It's a dilemma. In this situation, I'm being coerced into accepting Cohrial's blood, and I can't find any reason to refuse. Honestly, Cohrial's true blood is more troublesome than that of the Black Dragon. The Black Dragon's status is so high that it seems unlikely to do anything to me. The problem is not knowing what Cohrial might have done with the droplet of blood he is offering. Stop playing tricks. I curse Cohrial in my head and finally make a decision. Thank you. There is no answer. Honestly, a few somewhat disgraceful methods did come to mind, but those are not only low and demeaning, but also have a low chance of success. If it has come to this, I'll face it head on. Alright, then let's start the process right now. I knew that'd be the case. Since it's come to this, I'll just use the realm of treading heavens to swiftly cut off the blood entering my body. After all, through Biknyon, Cohrial must already know that I am from the Heart tribe. Yet he has not mentioned it until now, which means he must have deemed me useful in some way. Even if I fend off the droplets of blood using treading heavens, the words that come out of Cohrial are beyond imagination. Oh, by the way, the process will be assisted by Senior Jayu. Tab tab. He pats my shoulder in a friendly manner and says, compared to me, who is only at the early 4-axis stage, it's more fitting for Senior Jayu, who is at the grand perfection of the 4-axis stage, to assist you in the process. It's more suitable for a genius like you. Yes, yes, if I assist, it will surely be done properly. I am properly trapped. In this situation, it's impossible to discreetly use treading heaven to eliminate Cohrial's true blood from within my body in front of Jairyon. Of course, it's much less troublesome than if Cohrial were to directly assist in the process. The troublesome part is Cohrial's blood itself. Now take a seat, I will assist you. Yes. I hesitate for a moment before sitting cross-legged. Jairyon spreads her fingers, and a spell formation similar to the one used last time for refining the Black Dragon's true blood is engraved on the ground around us. Your body already flows with the Black Dragon's true blood, and Lord Seo's blood also belongs to a branch of the Black Dragon's lineage, so no extensive preparation like last time is needed. It will also be easier than before. Yes. Let's begin then. I sigh inwardly, staring at the jade bottle in front of me for a moment, then close my eyes tight. I swallow Cohrial's true blood contained in the bottle. Gulp. And then, zizing. As Cohrial's true blood enters my body, I feel as if a gigantic sea dragon is engulfing me. Wowung. Jairyon summon a golden energy, guiding Cohrial's true blood circulating within my body. I grit my teeth, pondering how to suppress this true blood. It's during that moment. Kurung kururung. Inside my body, it feels as if dark clouds are gathering, and the dormant energy of the Black Dragon's true blood begins to push out the Sea Dragon's true blood. However, Cohrial's blood, possibly due to being a branch lineage of the Black Dragon's true blood, naturally tries to mix with it. I hear Jairyon's voice in my ears. Do not forcibly mix the Black Dragon's true blood with the Sea Dragon's true blood. Just let them overlap naturally. Over time, they will slowly blend together, and forcing them could cause a rampage. Hearing her voice, I clench my teeth internally. That's it. Wowung. Jairyon seems to guide the power of the bloodlines well with her golden energy, but I slyly attempted to forcibly unify the Sea Dragon and Black Dragon true bloods. At the same time, both true bloods begin to rampage, causing the energy in my entire body to boil. Wait, Seo Yunhyan, what are you doing? It's dangerous, stop. Jairyon hastily places her hand on my back and infuses golden energy while shouting. However, I ignore her and focus on pressing down to unify the two true bloods. My blood feels like it's boiling to the point of vaporization, but I don't care. Through this, I'll erase whatever trickery Cohrial has put into his blood. And just as I am forcefully integrating the two energies, Chalig Chalrelik, the Black Dragon's true blood, begins to devour Cohrial's blood. Perhaps because they are of the same main lineage. As soon as the Black Dragon's true blood touches Cohrial's blood, it feels like ink spreading in water, dyeing Cohrial's blood and erasing its influence. Good, let's keep going like this. However, I somehow feel the Black Dragon's true blood that devoured Cohrial's blood becoming even stronger. Why is the power continuously increasing? Bubble, bubble, bubble. At the same time, I realized that the energy boiling throughout my body had been completely eroded by the power of the black dragon's true blood. Gush. Blood burst from my mouth, and tears of blood streamed down from my 7 orifices. This can't be happening. I'm going to die if it continues like this. The amplifying power of the black dragon is too much for my body to handle, and I'm about to be crushed. It's then I realize I had fallen into a trap of choosing between two evil that Coatrial had set. If I continue to let the black dragon's true blood devour Coatrial's blood, I will die. If I stop, I can live by accepting Coatrial's blood into my body, but to keep blood that Coatrial might have tampered with inside me. It's no different than living with a knife swallowed in my stomach. I ponder at the moment of choice. The contemplation is brief. Even if it kills me, do you think I would willingly be manipulated by that filthy Coatrial? The danger of this bastard is beyond imagination. There is a possibility that by accepting Coatrial's blood as it is, I might become his puppet without even realizing it. I allow the black dragon's true blood to consume Coatrial's blood completely. The next moment, I feel the illusion of Coatrial within my mental world. It's his remnant thoughts. Coatrial's remnant thoughts are being devoured and crumbled by the black dragon's energy. As expected, he tampered with something. After all, it would have been more suspicious if he hadn't tampered with anything. Kagagugu. But perhaps as a consequence of feeding Coatrial's blood to the black dragon's blood. The black dragon's blood exudes an enormous amount of yin energy, and I clench my teeth, feeling like my body is on the verge of explosion. Although Jairyone is assisting my refinement, and I can't use the techniques of the Heart Tribe, I can still use techniques unknown to her but known to Coatrial. Tisk dusk dusk. I place my hand behind my back and begin to draw a circuit within me, accepting Jairyone's golden energy trying to suppress the black dragon's power. Crack crunch crunch. Originally, the circuit was meant for a puppet, causing excruciating pain as if my body is being crushed, but I grit my teeth and continue to engrave the circuit. Engraving circuits throughout my body is something I had done occasionally in my past life, temporarily creating circuits with the formless sword. This time I went a step further. Above the golden core. On it, where the starry sky map and Taiji are engraved, avoiding the already drawn constellations, a delicate circuit is engraved on the golden core. Kijijijik. Krrrrrrgh. A cultivator above the core formation stage does not die unless their golden core is completely destroyed. However, this also means that for those at the core formation stage, the golden core is their greatest weakness. I am guiding the amplifying power of the black dragon into this weakness, into a circuit used for puppets, not the living. Kagagugu. The energy of Taiyan circulates through the Mad Lord's circuit. But the power is so dominantly tyrannical that I tremble, feeling as though my golden core will shatter. No, for the original me, it definitely would have shattered. Currently, my golden core and nascent soul are larger, wider, and more robust than those of other cultivators, as they were fused with the methods of the heaven and earth tribes. Therefore, I can barely withstand the power of Taiyan coming through the Mad Lord's circuit and the energy it carries. How much of that terrifying and immense energy of the black dragon have I absorbed? Finally, somehow, I am able to control the expanding power of the black dragon that seemed about to explode my body. Phew. It's when I open my eyes, sweating coldly. Slap. A sharp palm strikes my cheek. You foolish thing, didn't I tell you not to forcibly merge them? Didn't you realize that just now, not only your golden core, but also your newly condensed nascent soul were about to explode and kill you? I'm sorry. Jairyon looks down at me with an angry expression and says, Did you think you could do anything just because you're treated as a genius? Did you think you were so great that you could ignore the words of a 4-axis stage senior? Kagagugu. An immense pressure presses down on me. She is truly angry. Having only seen her kind and shy side until now, I had forgotten. Keikaku. This is a 4-axis cultivator. She is on a completely different level from me, who has not even reached the heavenly being stage yet. Just her anger makes the gravity intensify and crushes my body. The spiritual energy and life force throughout my body feel like they are about to explode. Just then, let's stop here. I will apologize for Seo Yunhyan's mistake. Well, Wung. Seo Atrial calms Gyrion down, easing her intensity. It seems you've managed to control the Black Dragon's power well by leveraging your genius, but still, it was too reckless, and to proceed ignoring the words of Senior Jiao, a 4-axis stage senior. Seo Atrial approaches me with a gentle expression, places his hand on my shoulder, and looks me in the eye. The relationship between you, me, and Senior Jiao isn't so distant that we can't overlook this. However, paying attention to the words of a senior in the cultivation world is certainly necessary. SSSHHH. Looking into Seo Atrial's eyes, I feel a chill. His eyes are slit vertically, glaring at me for the first time in a while. Although his tone is gentle, I find Seo Atrial's smiling gaze more chilling than Gyurion's anger. He is emitting a level of doubt towards me that has never been present before. Damn! Seo Atrial, glaring at me with his slit eyes, makes no effort to hide his suspicion. I've become openly suspicious now. Until now, even though my actions were suspicious, I hadn't directly acted against Seo Atrial's intentions. However, completely devouring Seo Atrial's blood, with the Black Dragon's true blood and scattering Seo Atrial's remnant thoughts, was a direct defiance of Seo Atrial's will. Of course, he seems to prefer coaxing me gently in front of Gyurion, rather than admitting he had tampered with his blood. Reading the evident intent from Seo Atrial, I realize. To Seo Atrial, I am now a target to be completely eliminated. 7 years. It all happened in just 7 years. No, it's still okay. If it's Seo Atrial, he will try to use me to the fullest before eliminating me. At least until he returns from gathering materials for Axis Foundation practice, my life won't end. And by then, I should be able to hastily prepare General Seo no matter what. It is sufficient time to find strength to stand against Seo Atrial. Seo Atrial, looking at me with his vertical pupils, continues his lecture in a somewhat gentle voice. I nod my head as if deeply moved by his words, showing a look of admiration towards Seo Atrial. Seo Atrial, too, nods his head as if he finds me commendable in any case. In front of Gyurion, we continue our uninteresting play, each harboring our own hidden blades. Well, despite various unpleasant incidents, today's plan will proceed as scheduled. Gyurion glances at us sharply and then flies up into the sky. Seo Atrial rises into the air with her, saying, "Come along." "Excuse me, what's the occasion?" Before departing on this journey, Senior Jiao suggested we deepen our friendship by going to the immortal demon tower to enjoy a performance. You, among other key figures of the Sea Dragon race, will also attend this farewell party of mine. Ah, yes, I understand. Hearing Seo Atrial's words, I fly up to follow them. As we move towards the immortal demon tower, Seo Atrial teaches me how to communicate through the blood in front of Gyurion. Even though it was devoured by the Black Dragon's true blood, it seems communication through his blood is still possible. Fortunately, I managed to eliminate the residual thoughts Seo Atrial intended to implant in my body through his blood. The method of communication through shared bloodline is also known to Gyurion, so it seems there will be no problem. Some elders and seniors from the Sea Dragon race join us midway, and we head towards the serving command arc, the heart of the true Dragon Alliance. Soon after, we arrive at a place called the Immortal Demon Tower. The Immortal Demon Tower serves as a tavern for the demon race, selling immortal wine. Like mortals in the lower realms visiting taverns, the demon race occasionally visits the Immortal Demon Tower to drink immortal wine. However, the immortal liquor they drink has effects such as increasing cultivation or enhancing the connection with one's Dharma treasure, similar to white red wine, making the taverns in the bright cold realm more akin to shops for magic artifacts, elixirs, or cultivation manuals than the mere taverns in the lower realms. Of course, it is still a tavern for enjoying refined pleasures. Therefore, the taverns in the bright cold realm prepare performances to delight the eyes and ears of the distinguished high-level cultivators who visit. This is the Immortal Demon Tower. The Immortal Demon Tower that Gyurion leads us to is a building made from the shell of a giant turtle. It was said that a monkey demon with the bloodline of the mountain-destroying demon ape and a turtle demon with the bloodline of the yin ghost black turtle became friends, drinking and enjoying themselves. When the turtle demon died, the monkey demon in sorrow made a tavern out of its shell, naming it the Immortal Demon Tower. A tavern made from the body of a dear friend. I can't quite grasp the sentiment of the monkey demon. Nonetheless, I enter the tavern along with Jairyone without giving it much thought. Apart from Jairyone and the members of the sea dragon race, there is no one else in the tavern. I've rented out the entire immortal demon tower for today to bid farewell to Grand Prince Seo. So everyone, please feel free to enjoy the immortal wine to your heart's content. Jairyone leads Seo Atrial upstairs, leaving the sea dragon race elders and seniors to disperse throughout the tavern. Being tactful, I do not follow Jairyone but sit near the entrance of the tavern. The immortal demon tower has 4 floors, with Seo Atrial and Jairyone sitting alone on the 4th floor, the sea dragon race heavenly being stage elders on the 3rd floor, and the nascent soul stage elders, including myself, on the 1st and 2nd floors. In the center of the 1st floor is a large stage, where performers seem to be preparing to show something. Everyone at the immortal demon tower orders the immortal wine they wish from the attendants. I myself ordered the familiar white-red wine. As everyone placed their orders, the lights throughout the tavern suddenly goes out. The performance is starting, it seems. I sip my white-red wine and look up at the stage. Well, for some reason, a strong prohibition is activated throughout the immortal demon tower, restricting our consciousness. This causes a brief commotion among the sea dragon race elders and seniors. Everyone, do not worry. It is customary for the immortal demon tower to restrict consciousness before a performance to ensure its quality. Neither Grand Prince Seo nor I are extending our consciousness either, so please do not be alarmed. With that, the commotion settles down, and soon after, the performance at the immortal demon tower begins. Flash. Lights illuminate the center of the stage, and several beautiful dancers and musicians enter. The dancers resemble humans, and the musicians have a variety of appearances. A monkey musician holds a pipa. A musician with a human upper body and spider lower half holds a zither. A musician with a fish face but human lower body plays the flute, and a musician that looked like a clam with arms and legs holds a drum. Shortly after, the dancers begin their performance, and the musicians play their instruments. Honestly, I am quite surprised by the quality of the sound. Unexpectedly excellent. The monkey playing the pipa expresses emotions through his music with a solemn expression. The spider woman creates beautiful tones on the zither without opening her eyes. The fish demon continuously blows the flute without stopping for breath, showing remarkable skill. And the clam plays the drum well. Possibly because they are all demon beasts, each infuses their spiritual energy into their music, creating even more beautiful waves. Not just I but also the elders and seniors of the sea dragon race are amazed by the symphonic vibrations created by the musicians' tones. The vibrations harmonize with the flow of yin and yang, eliciting awe from everyone. Truly, it's an incredible display of art. The dancers, too, flutter their delicate garments in tune with the music, captivating everyone from the sea dragon race who have visited the immortal demon tower. The standard is remarkably high. I sincerely admire the musicians as I listen to the music. Listening to the tones, I am able to somewhat calm the tension that had built up due to Seo Atrial. Glancing up at the 4th floor where Seo Atrial and Jairyone are, I noticed that Jairyone had done something to block not only consciousness, but also the flow of spiritual energy from entering. I don't need to worry about that. Whatever they do inside, it's between Jairyone and Seo Atrial. I focus solely on the music, tuning out everything else. Listening to the music, I feel as though I can discern the skill levels among the musicians. The spider woman playing the zither with her eyes closed seems to be the most skilled. Following her is the monkey playing the pipa with a craftsman's expression, and then the fish-headed flutist. The clam is trying its best. The entire performance is harmonized to the sound of the zither. Gradually, the music centered around the zither heads towards its climax. Finally, as the tones reach their peak, and the emotions contained within explode. Flash. The lights in the tavern turn back on, and all the restrictions on consciousness are lifted. As the oppressive restriction on consciousness is lifted, all members of the sea dragon race let out a gasp. An excellent production. By lifting the restriction on consciousness right as the performance reaches its climax, it seems to double the impact of the relief felt. Finally, the performance ends. I feel an inexplicable drowsiness wash over me. An excellent performance indeed. It's clear why Senior Jiao suggested we come. Even if they are below the Qi building stage, these musicians truly deserve to be called masters. As the performance concludes, everyone appears somewhat drowsy, yawning and covering their mouths. At the same time, they lavishly praise the performers on stage. After the musicians and dancers exit the stage, the immortal demon tower announces a break, turning on the lights and offering more immortal liquor. However, I approach one of the monkey servers bringing white red wine and ask. The performance was very impressive. How might one meet the musicians? The server, who appears to be below the Qi refining stage, is flattered by my question and responds. The musicians are all resting in the dressing room on the third basement floor of the immortal demon tower. If you wish, I can guide you there. Please do. I hand a pouch of spirit stones to the monkey server, who then leads me to the third basement floor of the immortal demon tower. Quite spacious. Indeed, the basement of the immortal demon tower is vast. It seems space compression techniques were used, as the space seems to expand majestically the further we descend. To my comment, the monkey server chuckles and explains. We sometimes hold auctions in the basement of the immortal demon tower. Many of the demon guests who attend are quite large, so we've compressed space to accommodate them without discomfort. Interesting. We've arrived. This is the musician's dressing room. Thank you for guiding me. After handing a pouch of spirit stones to the monkey demon, I enter the third basement floor. It's quite spacious. The space is indeed vast. Given that auctions are also held here, various protective and isolating formations are laid out throughout the area. Upon entering the musician's dressing room, the musicians who were chatting stopped and greeted me in unison. What brings you here, Senior? The people-playing monkey, who seems to be the leader, approaches me and asks. I smile and reply. Thank you for the wonderful performance. I wanted to personally show my gratitude, so I came to interrupt your rest. It's an honor that a member of the dragon race thinks so highly of us. The monkey's expression is one of flattered delight, and I hand him a pouch filled with 10,000 spirit stones. I've put 10,000 spirit stones in here. Share it among yourselves. Thank you, Senior. And I look at the spider woman. Everyone else, please step outside for a moment. Your skill with the zither moved me greatly. I'd like a moment alone to talk with you. The monkey seems to understand my intention and nods. Understood. Everyone, please step outside. UHWA oil painting. You take good care of the dragon race, Senior. The monkey leads the other musicians outside. Though not loud, the chatter of the musicians can be heard from outside. That dragon race, Senior, has quite unique tastes. Flash. I lay down the Mad Lord's circuit on the prohibition, isolating the inside of the dressing room from the outside. The noise from outside is blocked, and any sound from inside will not carry outside either. Well, a barrier activated, isolating the interior from the exterior. Simultaneously, I draw out my formless sword and charge at the spider woman, aiming for her throat. The next moment, twang! As she strums her zither, a crimson river appears before me, flowing and blocking my formless sword. As expected, it's you. I smile wryly as I look at her. It's been a while, Heart Tribe Noble. I recognized her by her tone. She's the one from the Heart Tribe, who had manipulated the Crimson River heart essence last time. Really, Kim Young-hoon has led me to develop some bad habits. Flash. I distance myself from the surrounding Crimson River and lift my formless sword. Seeing a master whose skill has reached the level of art makes one's blood boil. It's been too long since I properly dueled in martial arts. I'm not even sure if what the Heart Tribe uses can be considered martial arts. But upon facing a master of the same realm from the Heart Tribe, upon encountering someone who can infuse their music with both chi and heart essence, elevating it to the realm of art, I can't help but feel my blood boil uncontrollably. Let's have a match. I raise my sword and take the starting form stance. Thwug. In the next moment, she once again plucks the zither, the crimson river flowing and striking my body hard. I am flung backward, landing with my upper body crashing onto the drum that the clam had been playing. Translator notes, donated chapter by Wang Clementine, Ko-Fi Supporter 1 and Ko-Fi Supporter 2. Thanks for the support. // Discord https://dsc gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 194, Betrayal 2. Hem. Rustling. I extract my upper body from the shattered drum and dust myself off. Indeed, quite a formidable force. It wasn't the Crimson River that had repelled me. As soon as I touched the Crimson River, it was not my body, but rather the pure spiritual force flowing within me that automatically reacted and repelled me. In other words, the Crimson River merely touched my body. The fact that I was flung and crashed was entirely thanks to the power flowing within me. It seems you're in the same situation. The Spider Woman, UHWA as she is called, raises her arm while keeping her eyes closed. There is a sword scar left by my formless sword on her arm, from which blood is flowing. I didn't expect you to penetrate my defense just like that. I didn't know my internal spiritual power could move according to someone else's will. How did you do it? Do you really think I'd willingly teach you my technique? Try to figure it out on your own. I'll do my best to understand the ability of that sword as well. Oh, you recognized it as a sword. How did she recognize the formless sword, which has no shape? Even if it has no form, the intent is so clear. How could I not know what you're wielding? It was a foolish question, I see. I attack her with the formless sword again. But every time the Crimson River touches my body, I am repelled this way and that. It's as if my body is not my own. Woewung. Feeling as if I am floating, I try to approach her, but the problem is the Crimson River. Woewung bang 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 bang. As the formless sword whirls around, the dressing room turns into a mess, but I focus solely on getting closer to her. After exchanging blows with her for who knows how long. Wait. Suddenly she smiles and says, "Perhaps this is a good time to stop." Hello? She detaches her hands from the zither and raises them. There's no need for us to continue fighting. What are you talking about when martial artists meet? Suddenly, it dawns on me that I am unsure whether UHWA is a martial artist or not. I understand what you want. There are many like you within the Heart Tribe territory, those who wish to prove themselves by comparing their manifestations with others, or simply those who genuinely enjoy sparring. Our esteemed one also has such tastes. Then why refuse to fight? Because I am not of that kind of Heart Tribe. While I am interested in your sword, I am more suited for infiltration, espionage, and inciting rebellion. Instead of this meaningless act, how about we exchange information more constructively? I look at her and smile. Is fabrication also one of your specialties? Excuse me. Woewung. Holding the formless sword in a reverse grip, I swing it towards my head. The formless sword grazes my skull, cutting out strange sound waves affecting my mind from the plane of soul. Shug. I feel something break, bringing my consciousness back to reality. The situation is not much different from before. I am confronting her. But from the moment I was repelled into the drum, shattering it to the traces of our exchange of blows, all have disappeared. Quite an impressive illusion technique. The feeling that my body is not my own, the sensation of floating. It's all because it wasn't real, happening in my dream. Fighting in an illusion was interesting, but since you openly tried to extract information without wanting to fight me, I came out. She suggested exchanging information, but there's no guarantee that the information exchanged in the illusion is real. She still speaks calmly with her eyes closed, turning her head towards me. Strictly speaking, what I showed you was not an illusion. I put you to sleep and made you dream, guiding the dream in the direction you desired. I retort. In the process, you meddled a bit, asking questions you were curious about. I won't deny it. Your way of speaking has changed quite a bit since we last met. As a Heart Tribe intelligence agent, would I use a manner of speech that easily identifies me? I've practiced changing both my voice and manner of speech as needed. Changing the tone at will is that you're treading heavens. No, your second stage of manifestation. Woewung. Shug. I swiftly launch a formless sword attack at her hand as she subtly reaches for the zither, causing a wound. It seems she was attempting to engage me in conversation, while stealthily using the zither to put me to sleep with her scheming. She looks at the wound on her arm and laughs. It's not easy to share, especially when I can't quite tell if you're from the Heaven Tribe or the Earth Tribe, or one of ours. Figures? Well, forget that. Are you really not going to fight me? It'd be advantageous for your side to obtain my information, wouldn't it? That's true. However, she smiles subtly. But do you suggest we go all out when there are two 4-axis stage Earth tribe members just a few floors above us? We'd surely get caught. There's no benefit in sparring right now. I catch her drift. If there's a benefit for you, you'd spar with me. If that's the case, I see no reason why not. All right, tell me what you want. You're currently staying at the Palace of the Sea Dragon race, correct? Yes. In the Palace of the Sea Dragon race, I'm aware that a member of the White Goat race, Beak Nyon, whom I had previously rescued and attempted to escape to the Heart Tribe territory, is being imprisoned. If you promise to help me rescue him, I see no reason why I can't spar with you. Imprisoned. Should that be described as imprisoned? Noticing my serious expression while I conceal my heart essence with the treading heavens realm, she misunderstands it for something else and clicks her tongue. Perhaps I've asked too much of you, if you truly feel a sense of belonging to the Sea Dragon race. No, that's not it. I think of the White Goat race who have become the ruling class near the Cloud Heart Lake and their leader, Beak Nyon, feeling a mix of emotions. Cohl will be leaving the True Dragon Alliance in a day or two for his Axis Foundation practice. I'll arrange a time for you and Beak Nyon to meet after that. However, I'm not sure about helping with the rescue. I'll ensure you can enter and exit the dwelling of the White Goat race near Cloud Heart Lake by holding off the Sea Dragon race patrol, but escaping with him will be up to you. Thank you, that will be a great help. I smile brightly at her enthusiastic response, and then ask out of curiosity. What if I am lying? We're both at the treading heavens. No, the second stage of manifestation, so I should be able to lie too, right? Hee, have you never sparred with someone of the same realm from the Heart Tribe? No. Well, that's even better. I can teach you. As she touches the zither, she says, let's control our power while sparring. As I mentioned, with two 4-axis stage Earth Tribe members above us, and a barrier set up in the dressing room, not to mention the immortal demon tower's restrictions suppressing our consciousness, we can easily get caught if we're not careful. Let's keep our power at the early stage of chi refining and compete using only our manifestations. Fine. A pure competition of capabilities and enlightenment is something I welcome. The next moment, thwung, her zither sounds, and my sword surged through the air. However, just as I am about to adopt a stance and employ a technique, I struggle to keep my body from collapsing. Sleepy. A drowsiness demon attacks me. With this level of sleepiness, even when restricting our power to the chi refining state. If we were to fight without restraining our power, fully employing treading heavens, I would have fallen into a dream without even realizing it, just like before. Thump thwoong thump. But her performance is just beginning. As her zither plays and melodies emerge, my entire body's strength disperses, and my eyelids feel unbearably heavy. Thump. I force myself up and glare at her. Wowung. Gradually, a faint light of the Crimson River begins to swirl around her. This is my last quarter moon phase, illusory play under the rosy afterglow. Please enjoy. It isn't the Crimson River. It's the evening glow. The time when those who have finished their day start to prepare for bed, the sunset. Teeing. I exert all my strength, barely managing to fend off the sleepiness using Mountain Echo's Valley responds. The formless sword transforms into vibrations, striking my soul across planes, bringing me back to my senses. But the clarity is fleeting. As her performance continues, I realize I am succumbing to sleepiness again. A fearsome technique. Even using only chi refining stage power, she brought me to the brink of unconsciousness with sleepiness. Even a heavenly being stage cultivator, if caught off guard by her determined performance, would end up sprawled on the floor asleep. Moving even a single finger became difficult. This is especially lethal for me. I'm sleepy. I want to rest right now. If I were to lay down and sleep right now, it feels like I can finally sleep peacefully for the first time in ages. After joining Cohl 7 years ago, I haven't slept properly even once. Not just that. In my previous life, when I was a governor in the Devil Realm. Before that, when I was beaten all over at the Azure Heaven Creation sect. Even before that, when I was captured by the Mad Lord and underwent modification, enduring for 1,000 years. I never really rested. No, was there ever time I properly rested before that? Excluding the times when I relaxed my heart with Hyung Hwa, it's hard to remember when I last truly rested. I want to rest. I really want to sleep deeply. The heavenly treading realm manifested by Yuwa is stirring up an intrinsic desire I've had all this time. Maybe it's okay to rest a bit. But then, smirking. Resting is something. Crack. I drive the formless sword into my shoulder. A jolt of pain snaps my eyes open. I can do after death. I hold the formless sword with a grin. If I gain enlightenment in the morning, I am content with death in the evening. Endure, Seo Yun Hyan. Are you going to miss this great opportunity? I'll let you rest in death, so open your eyes. I scream, twisting the formless sword embedded in my shoulder. SSH. Tremendous pain radiates from my shoulder. But with bloodshot eyes, I twist and pulled out the formless sword, aiming it at UHWA. Good, shall we continue? Let's do so. In the next moment, I dart towards her, slashing down with the formless sword. For a moment, the sword takes on a shape similar to an axe and strikes her. Yet her crimson afterglow river effectively blocks my formless sword again. But she can't block it. Swoosh. My formless sword pierces through the afterglow, charging towards her. Woven. She, holding the zither, leaps back like a grasshopper, and I change stance right after swinging down. Along with my stance, the formless sword elongates, transforming into a spear-like form. Shoot! In the next moment, the colorless spear in my hand fires off like a cannonball, embedding 3 gusts of wind around her. Thwung thud thwung. Yet she continues to strum the zither. The afterglow swirl around her, dissipating the formless sword strikes. I'm astonished to realize the principle behind her defense. She's treating my formless sword as a living entity and putting it to sleep. It isn't merely dispersing. My formless sword is falling asleep as it touches her afterglow. Gradually, the energy of the formless sword I hold is dropping below the chi refining stage. If this continues, it will become less effective than simple sword energy. Interesting. Memories of a long time ago surface, when I had not yet reached the pinnacle realm and followed Kim Young-hoon around. Kim Young-hoon wandered through various factions in Yangguo, challenging their banners. The result was naturally 100 victories in 100 battles. Among the factions he challenged, there was one that specialized in sound arts. Back then, Kim Young-hoon definitely said that defeating the leader of that sound arts faction was the most challenging, describing them as the trickiest opponent. Those memories vividly came back. It was the most not easy opponent. So even the words not easy come out of your mouth, Hyung Nim. Well, it's because sound art masters are hard to come by. Those who are mediocre in sound arts are as good as useless, but when someone who has mastered sound arts to the level of 3 flowers gather at the summit and has our vision uses it, it becomes incredibly formidable. I don't understand what you mean by our vision. Right, I was meaning to tell you about this. I remember the advice Kim Young-hoon had given me. Sound arts, after all, are about sound. But how does mere sound harm the opponent? It's like the poison you study. Poison, you say? Yes, poison. From the moment you first hear the opponent's melody, their chi begins to mix with the sound entering your body. When the opponent's sound waves resonate with the ones inside you, your body starts to break down according to the resonance frequency. Terrifying. Yes, so ultimately, if you meet a master who uses sound-based martial arts, you should suppress and kill them before they can shoot their sound waves. If you fail and allow the opponent to shoot their sound waves, you'll need to find a way to detoxify. A physician-like approach indeed. Well, since I compared it to poison, but my solution is a bit different. Waves of sunset rush towards me. What UHWA is using is no different from sound-based martial arts. No, it could be said to be an evolved version of sound-based martial arts, evolved by several stages. Perhaps from the moment I first heard her sound at the Immortal Demon Tower today, I was under the influence of her poison. The poison of her wanting to sleep heart essence. Preemptive strike is no longer possible, and what she has infused into me is her heart essence itself, so detoxification won't work. And there's only one method left. Make the poison your own. If you perfectly control the chi throughout your body, you can also control the vibrations within. While sparring with the opponent, continuously circulate and move the chi, altering the vibration itself to be different from what the opponent has infused. I begin to accelerate my thoughts through the formless sword connected to my body. Time slows down while I accelerate. Quang quang quang, cutting horizontally with transcending peaks. Then accelerating again to thrust into her side with flowing ridge. All blocked. But then accelerating once more, I cut down from above with dragon vein. Kagagugu. As I cut down, my formless sword is blocked again by her sunset-colored river. Touching that river, the force itself will dissolve, making permeation impossible. But the next moment, PSSHD, a small wound appears on her cheek. Even though it was dissolved, my formless sword that permeated her river caused a wound on Uhwa's face. Chalag. The next moment, a crimson wave rushes towards me, forcing me to retreat. I'm sleepy. I feel like I will fall asleep at any moment. This is both my heart essence and the poison she subtly infused into me through her treading heavens. Then make this poison my own. It's not sleepiness, but facing a limit. And if you face a limit, you can also surpass it. Boom, 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 boom. Gradually, the speed at which I swing my formless sword begins to increase. Every time I endure sleepiness, a limit comes. Uhwa also plays her instrument, continuously attacking me with her river. Every time I face a limit and overcome sleepiness, I break through the limit. My inner heart essence transforms, changing from sleepiness to a leap in spirit. Therefore, every time I overcome sleepiness, I become stronger. It doesn't literally increase my spiritual power or teach me unknown sword techniques. But isn't martial arts about defining oneself? Then, I am indeed growing. Although I am restraining my power to chi refining, my speed gradually increases. I find ways to more perfectly control and maximize the application of force. Severing mountain swordsmanship, joy of mountains and peaks. The formless sword energy shoots out, crisscrossing like a go board toward the opponent. Uhwa plucks her instrument again, and the sunset-colored waves surge, blocking my formless sword. My move seems to dissolve, but that's not the end. PSSHD, PSSHD. Streaks of blood appear on Uhwa's body. Gradually, the sleepiness, heart essence she plays is no longer consumed by my formless S-sword. For I am transforming her sleepiness into an opportunity for growth within me, fighting against her. If this continues, I will win. When I think so, SSSS. It's been a while since I've fought a fellow from the same realm. It seems it won't work. A deep smile leaks from Uhwa's lips. It's pleasure. The emotion of finding it too enjoyable to exchange moves with me. Perhaps I can be a bit rougher. The next moment, countless white spider webs spew out from her rear. Her spider legs attached to her lower body moves, weaving and throwing spider webs in all directions. Soon, the entire waiting room is engulfed in spider webs. And then, twang, and she plucks one of the spider webs with her spider legs. Zilling. The spider webs she had spread around the waiting room vibrate all at once. The entire space around starts to fill with a sunset glow. Even as I try to distort her heart essence within my own, new poison continually seeps in from outside. Damn, I'm sleepy. Insanely sleepy. Everything before me is becoming blurry. Before I know it, I'm drifting in and out of consciousness, teetering on the boundary between dreams and reality. Yet even so, my body faithfully swings the formless sword as it has always done. At the same time, I see the waiting room before me disappear, transforming into a mystically eerie mountainous ravine. At the boundary between dreams and reality, is it trying to suppress my mind through dreams? Swoosh. The fog in the mystical mountainous ravine seems alive as it envelops me. Simultaneously in reality, the river engulfs me. Though I am in a dazed state, I manage to split my focus, cutting through the fog in the mountainous ravine, then use my half-conscious body to dodge the sunset glow. Her massive counterattack follows. Before me, the profound ravine suddenly becomes a sea surrounding me, and waves crash over me. Then before I know it, I am swallowed by a sandstorm above the scorching desert. However, in reality, my body constantly moves around, and contrary to myself in the heart essence, I keep landing different attacks on her. Forced to fight in different environments, with my mind split between them. How formidable! With the right compatibility, it's a technique capable of assassinating a heavenly being stage cultivator in a one-on-one fight. Of course, with a surprise attack, compatibility wouldn't matter, and a fatal blow could be dealt regardless. Juggling my view between reality and the illusory, I continued to exchange blows with her, enduring the sleepiness. The Crimson River is the physical manifestation of her melody. Touching that river puts my power to sleep, and the heart essence of sleepiness is infused into my body, eventually putting me to sleep. Although I barely managed to distort the heart essence to the parallel state of dream and reality, a direct hit would undoubtedly knock me out. The river itself possesses physical force, and while not strong in force, the terrifying part is falling asleep upon contact. By laying down her strings like spider webs everywhere, she ensures her tune can be played from any location. The entire waiting room was filled with a sunset glow. I have to find a crack within the sunset glow to sneak through and exploit her openings, while she bombards me from all directions. This is fun. However, each of the crimson rays she fires is optimized to read each other's intent and heart essence, shooting in the best path possible. My formless sword is no different, and exchanging moves with her, I gradually feel exhilarated. Our exchange of blows intensify, and then I can feel a golden intent emanating from her. Joy, fun, and at some point, in the world of dreams, I find myself in a world filled with crimson rivers. This place is swoosh. Every time I dip my foot into the river, overwhelming fatigue assaults my mind. I'm tired. I want to rest. Please, just a little. This is when cultivators of the same treading heavens clash. It seems they not only exchange intents, but also share each other's heart essence. Navigating through Yuhua's heart essence, I feel her fatigue. Fatigue. That is the essence of the enlightenment she has reached. This is not just the vision of treading heavens, but also with the vision of the earth tribe. The flow of yin and yang within this heart essence shows me fleeting scenes. It's Yuhua's life. She was born into a species known as half-human, half-spider. Her race was famous for producing webs and creating pleasant sounds by plucking their webs. Of course, they had no other abilities and, congenitally unable to withstand the violent flow of spiritual power, couldn't learn demon-beast methods. Thus, her race was treated as slaves and sold across the bright cold realm. UHWA was sold from place to place, learning to play the instrument, forced to play without a moment's rest. Her skill at playing was indeed excellent, and for her owners, having her perform was directly equivalent to wealth. They never allowed her to rest. If she was tired, they gave her spirit fluids to eliminate fatigue, and if she showed any laziness, they threatened to grind her up into medicine, forcing her to perform incessantly for 5 years. UHWA began to go mad. Who could endlessly draw upon their talent, playing without rest and not grow tired. I want to sleep. Not just dozing off while being transported to another venue, but to properly, deeply sleep. She hoped and hoped and hoped again. The rest she longed for did not come easily. If she were to fall asleep during a performance, her owner would immediately grind her up into medicine. Since they forced spirit fluids on her to eliminate fatigue, excuses of being tired were not accepted. But having not slept for years, she felt like she would lose her mind if she did not sleep, and thus she found a solution. The solution she found was to immerse herself in something else. She immersed herself in her music, pouring all her madness about wanting to sleep into playing her instrument. Her playing skills eventually grew to be unparalleled among her half-spider peers. She craved more perfect performances, more perfect tones. Then one day, she discovered how to imbue her music with chi. And then another day. She realized while playing music that she could see the colors of emotion in the sound. From that day, she could see the intent of the guests who came to listen to her play. Again, one day, she saw countless colors of emotions merge into one, forming a single field of consciousness. From then, she realized her music had a direction. And to reach that direction, she continued to practice, even if it meant her hands and feet bled. Finally, on the day when her playing reached perfection, adding perfection to perfection, and ultimately reaching the pinnacle of understanding, she succeeded in combining the basic chi she had with the intent flowing from her playing, achieving what she had longed for years. She wanted to sleep. Her performance, which actualized the rest she had never properly obtained in her lifetime, put all the guests who came that day, her owner, and even herself to sleep. While asleep, she continued to play and killed the malicious brothel owner who never gave her a moment's rest. Thus, she awakened as a member of the Heart Tribe. Later, she fled to the territory of the Heart Tribe and joined them. That is her story. Boom! In a flash, I opened my eyes. My formless sword is already at Yuhwa's throat, and her instrument is split into two. You've lived a tumultuous life. Only now can I understand why she had agreed to spar with me. When members of the same heart tribe spar with others of the same realm, it's possible to see the opponent's heart essence and the essence embedded within that heart essence. After receiving a promise from me to meet Beek Nyo, she sparred with me to see if I am trustworthy. Whether I was lying or not. It wasn't about whether to accept the spar or not. From the moment she saw me, the spar was inevitable. Quite an audacious woman. As I look down at her, she chuckles. It seems you two have lived a life no less eventful than mine. Really, I thought I was going to die entering your heart essence. My heart essence is indeed not easy. Certainly, the reason I was able to emerge from her dream and heart essence and defeat her is because she had entered my heart essence as well. Entering my transparent hell of agony and feeling like her entire body is being pierced must have distracted her. How curious, I say, looking at her with her eyes closed. I had thought she was just closing her eyes, but having briefly read her heart essence and memories, I became certain. Have you been sleeping all this time, not just closing your eyes? Yes. She wasn't just closing her eyes, she has been sleeping all along. From the day she became a heart tribe, she has never woken up from her sleep. Continuously sleeping, she controls her body through her dreams, a remarkable yet peculiar being. Oh, deep sleep is really important. If you never slept properly in your childhood, it's only natural to keep sleeping to make up for it, right? No, that's not the issue, never mind. How is it possible to control one's body in a dream while sleeping? By the way, you've read my memories, haven't you? I felt the sticky gaze of the Earth Tribe scanning through my head. Sorry about that, the vision isn't something I can control. Well, it's okay. Although your heart essence is that of a madman, I clearly felt that you are not a wicked person, just your transparent last quarter alone. Last quarter, what's that? It means manifestation. Heart tribe members, when meeting each other, try to maintain some uniformity by calling it manifestation 1, 2, 3 stages, etc. But honestly, every heart tribe member calls manifestation by a different term. I prefer to call it last quarter. I see. It's similar to my treading heavens. Then she asks me with her eyes still closed. So what do you think of me as a being? That's right. I look at her, organizing my thoughts. This time, using both the vision of the Heart Tribe and the Earth Tribe simultaneously, I discovered something new. The Treading Heavens vision that reads the opponent's heart essence, and the Earth Tribe's vision that reads the trajectory of spiritual energy. When these two visions combine, it was like seeing the flashbacks of my life through the trajectory of yin and yang when I reached the nascent soul stage. I realized that I could briefly see another's life. It was a life full of hardships. I continue, looking at UHWA. After all the hardships, you obtain what you wished for, so it's also a life to be celebrated. At my words, she beams. Thank you for the compliment. And what she says next takes me by surprise. After my current mission ends, if you wish, I will formally invite you to the Heart Tribe territory and make you a member of the Heart Tribe. Translator notes, donated chapter by Wang, thanks for the support. // Discord https://dsc gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 195, Betrayal 3. I am momentarily taken aback by her words. To accept someone you've only met twice into your faction. Isn't that a bit too reckless? Oh my, what would you do if you were in my position? Well, wouldn't you know after fighting with a fellow Heart Tribe member? Although it sounds ridiculous, it makes sense upon reflection. Heart Tribe members can read each other's heart essence by competing in skills. Of course, in my case, with the addition of the Earth Tribe's vision, I even read into the past. UHWA only somewhat understood what kind of being I am by encountering my heart essence. Yet I can't easily refute her words. We touched each other's essence. Just that has already given us enough knowledge about each other. Well, I guess I understand the feeling. Since I know you are an upright person, I trust you will keep your promise. I will keep it. I'll arrange a place after Cohrial leaves the Sea Dragon Palace. Thank you. Chalag chalag. She begins to retract the spider webs she had spread around and starts cleaning the disordered waiting room. I watch her, lost in thought for a moment. I didn't read her past perfectly. I only briefly skimmed through the flashback that passed by in the blink of an eye during the nascent soul stage. That alone was enough to roughly understand how she reached the realm of the heart tribe. But in other words, reading how she became a heart tribe was all I did. Reading a few fragments of memories was truly all there was to it. However, it's certainly possible to read the moments of intense emotion someone has felt throughout their life. Then, I look up lost in thought. Maybe, if I look at Cohrial with this vision, I can also know about Cohrial's past. Thud. UHWA, and I exit from the third basement level waiting room. When we head up to the second basement floor, I see UHWA's fellow musicians there. Out of curiosity, I read their heart essences as well, and apart from the clam demon, they seem to be just ordinary slave races. UHWA, you're here. Yes, phew, it's hot. As she enters the second floor, wiping off her sweat, the eyes of her colleagues strangely change. They look back and forth between her and me, and seeing both of us sweating, they exchange peculiar glances with each other. Why are they acting like that? Puzzled, I decide to head back up to the immortal demon tower. Today was good. Let's meet again if there's a chance. Yes, I look forward to it. I nod to UHWA, expecting the day we will spar again, and she also bows her half-spider lower body to me in respect. Somehow, there is a lot of murmuring among her fellow musicians, but I ignore it and concentrate on other thoughts as I climb the stairs. The vision of reading memories is something I glimpsed during our intense spar. She is of the same heart tribe, and heart tribe members of the treading heavens realm or higher intertwine their heart essences when sparring. Thanks to that phenomenon, I was able to read a few fragments of her memories. If I want to enter the heart essence of someone who is not of the heart tribe and see their inner thoughts and memories, what should I do? The first thing that comes to mind is the sea of righteousness and mountain of grace. If I were to thrust Cohrial's head with the sea of righteousness and mountain of grace, my nascent soul can directly enter his consciousness and peek into his heart essence and memories. But I immediately dismiss that plan. My soul might rot away instantly. The sea of righteousness and mountain of grace can be used on someone manageable, but if I were to immerse my nascent soul into Cohrial's heart essence, it's no joke that my nascent soul might corrode. The sea of righteousness and mountain of grace, let's not think about it. Then, what other methods could there be? As I ponder over and over, my thoughts reach the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon. Maybe with the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon. Using the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon to momentarily connect my consciousness with Cohrial's, and during that time, peeking into his memories through the heart essence might be an option. It might rot my consciousness as well, but it's a bit better than sea of righteousness and mountain of grace. Maybe if I can get the Mad Lord's help, a more proper investigation of Cohrial's memories might be possible. Joining hands with the Mad Lord to kidnap Cohrial and then remodel him into a puppet, investigating Cohrial's consciousness trapped in the puppet. But this is too much like something Cohrial would do, so I dismiss it. If I suggest kidnapping Cohrial to the Mad Lord, he will probably try to remodel me first. It's futile to expect common sense from someone you can't reason with. Step. Before I know it, I have returned to the first floor of the immortal demon tower, recalling Cohrial and Jade on the fourth floor. Come to think of it, this building is under a restraint that even controls the consciousness of cultivators at the 4-axis stage. Of course, cultivators at the 4-axis stage aren't really restrained by the restraint, but allow themselves to be restrained for the sake of the performance, and they can break free at any time. But anyway, their consciousness is clearly restrained. Maybe this moment, with Cohrial and Jade together, is when they're most vulnerable. Then let's try out this newly discovered vision today. If it's possible to see fragments of memories just by looking from the outside without mixing with the heart essence, that alone will be a great gain. I'll wait for the performance to start again. The consciousness inside the building is slightly restrained now, but not as much as during a performance. I decide to wait for the right moment. Soon, the lights in the building go out again, and UHWA and the musicians once again come up to prepare for their performance. Everyone's consciousness is restrained once more. Ordinary cultivators, if their consciousness is restrained, are practically unable to act properly, as if their senses were restrained. But I am different. I had lived well even before I had a realm of consciousness as immortal. Let's see. Swish. I used the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, entering the gaps in the perception of many within the darkness. Then, with the Earth Tribe's vision and my nascent soul's vision, I cut through the flow of chi itself, making my body invisible to anyone. And I also hide the flow of my life. If there is something I realized after reaching the nascent soul stage with the Earth Tribe's method, it is the enlightenment about life. Those at the four-axis stage have gained enlightenment of life. I cut through my own flow of life, momentarily ensuring that those who have gained enlightenment of life can't detect me. Swish. Finally, cutting myself off and completely hiding in the crevice of perception, spiritual energy, and the flow of life, I begin to ascend to the fourth floor. Just in case, I even use a technique to silence my footsteps as I ascend to the fourth floor. Wung. Although restrained, Cohreal and Gyreon's consciousness nearly fills the entire fourth floor. Of course, considering the original size of their consciousness, this is also a significantly restrained level, but I tense up and carefully make my way through the gaps in their consciousness. I see Gyreon and Cohreal not sitting and listening to the musicians, but standing and arguing with each other. What's going on? Gyreon cast a soundproofing spell, and since the entire fourth floor is dark, I can't tell why they are fighting. But clearly Gyreon is feeling strong jealousy, pity, obsession, and love towards Cohreal. Of course, Cohreal seems to be flustered on the outside, but as usual, he feels no emotion on the inside. Just then, Wowung. Inside the dark fourth floor, Gyreon begins to use a strange, pinkish spell. As she forms a hand seal, something metaphysical begins happening around them. Cohreal's normally calm heart essence shows slight turmoil. Cohreal is flustered. And the next moment, filled with grief, jealousy, and love, Gyreon grabs Cohreal by the collar. She pulls his face towards hers and kisses him. Cohreal, caught off guard by Gyreon's sudden kiss, is flustered but soon calms his emotion. What exactly is happening? But this is good. If Cohreal is even slightly flustered now, maybe I can delve into his heart essence and read his memories. That's when, as Gyreon kisses Cohreal, something metaphysical seems to happen between them, and I too feel caught up in that change while observing. What is this? Wowung. Gyreon detaches her lips from Cohreal, and after dispelling the soundproofing spell, looks this way. Who is it who is spying on us? This. It isn't so much a problem with the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, but it seems I was caught because of observing Gyreon's spell as a third party. I hurriedly descend from the fourth floor, and Gyreon's roar echoes behind me. Who dares? Kagagugu. Her restrained consciousness shatters the constraints around her, expanding in all directions. But just in time. Whoosh! I successfully leave her consciousness domain and reach my original place on the first floor of the immortal demon tower before she can find me. Phew! Just as I sit down and normalize my bodily reactions, taking a sip of white red wine, Gyreon's consciousness sweeps through the entire immortal demon tower. She used some spell on Cohreal, and seeing Cohreal's flustered appearance caused by Gyreon's action, it seems like it was some kind of curse that takes effect through a kiss. Did she use some kind of spell to force marriage? I can't help but feel pleased at the thought of Cohreal being flustered. At least Senior Jyu got one over on Cohreal. But upon further thought, before Gyreon forcibly used that spell on Cohreal, their relationship seemed to be on the verge of turning sour. Gyreon appeared to be boiling with feelings of injustice, jealousy, obsession, and love. No, even now. Kagagugu. Her consciousness thoroughly scans the vicinity, and I can observe the irritation, jealousy, and love carried within her entire consciousness domain. Pretending nothing is amiss, UHWA too must have noticed Gyreon's jealousy as she momentarily falters in her performance. Of course, like a first-class musician, she quickly calms her mind and continues playing. A lot of interesting things are happening tonight. I finish my white red wine, comfortably settling into Yuhwa's performance. Finally, even comes at the immortal demon tower, and Cohwal's farewell party comes to an end. Now it is Cohwal's turn to return to the Sea Dragon Palace and prepare for departure. As the Sea Dragon Palace party and Jairyun are saying their goodbyes outside the immortal demon tower. Seo Yunhyan, stay back for a moment. Yes. Jairyun suddenly calls me to stop. Cohwal, looking puzzled, glances back and forth between her and me. There's something I need to say to this kid for a moment, so Grand Prince Seo, please go ahead. Yes, understood. Cohwal, appearing embarrassed, can't meet her eyes and coughs awkwardly before quickly flying away from the immortal demon tower. What a spine-chilling performance. I inwardly click my tongue, comparing Cohwal's demeanor to his hard essence. That's when. Was it you, Seo Yunhyan? Yes. The one who was spying on us. Jairyun asks me with a cold expression. After a moment of silence, I slowly nod. I was drawn into the change caused by the spell Jairyun used. Perhaps Jairyun detected that change and is addressing it to me. Denying it seems pointless. As I nod, Jairyun sighs and looks up at the sky. From where did you watch? When Senior Jaiyu kissed the Grand Prince. Yes, I see, sigh. She presses her temples. Why were you spying on us? My apologies, there was something I needed to report to the Grand Prince. Well, Grand Prince Seo has a lot on his plate, so I understand. Maybe it's better it was you. She glances at me briefly before sighing again. I used an ancient spell known as the Vast Cold Beautiful Agreement, also called the Vast Cold Oath. Jairyun's story begins. Long, long ago, in a time unimaginably distant, before the rituals involving white red wine, there was the Vast Cold Oath to prove marriage between two people. Yet, despite using the spell she so desired to bind herself to Cohwal, she appears somewhat bitter. Congratulations, didn't you wish to be bonded with Grand Prince Seo? Well, I did want to be bonded with him, not forcibly like this, but naturally with everyone's blessings. I ask her the question she seems to want to answer, reading her intent. What happened? Jairyun seems to want to unburden her heart to someone. Last time I saw Cohwal with someone else. Who was it? It was a woman of the human race, dressed in white. I saw her walking down the streets of the serving command arc, holding hands with Cohwal. They were, smiling as if they were extremely happy. Once could be overlooked, but after following Cohwal several times, they met regularly, becoming even closer. I am startled by her story about the human woman accompanying Cohwal. How could he do that? He said he loved me, said he wanted to be with me. Why is he with another woman and a human at that? She vents her frustration. I took this opportunity to ask him who she was. Cohwal said it was nothing, but I could tell. He was thinking of her more than me. I mean, I could understand if he wanted to take a human concubine, but shouldn't he have discussed it with me first? I used the Vast Cold Oath on Cohwal by force this time. I wanted to swear to the world that he is mine. She suddenly covers her face with a hand, sighing as if feeling self-loathing. If it weren't for that woman, I wouldn't have been so desperate to do something about him. Do you think I was wrong? I know Grand Prince Seo well. I start to advise her to keep her distance from Cohwal. Grand Prince Seo's history with women is quite severe. As you know, some of the Sea Dragon Palace's people are his descendants. From the lower realm, he has taken countless wives and concubines. Is that so? Yes, so perhaps not expecting much from Grand Prince Seo might be. Well, fine. After hearing my words, her golden eyes begin to shine brightly. Her golden pupils, along with her golden horns, split vertically as they blaze. Then, while Cohwal is away on his Axis Foundation practice, I will definitely reach the integration stage. As an integration stage demon king, I will take Cohwal under my wing. Then, he wouldn't dare take any more concubines. I am at a loss for words for a moment, but then the thought crosses my mind that perhaps this is for the best. Jairyun possesses the cultivation of the grand perfection 4-axis stage. Continuously cultivating will naturally lead to her becoming an integration stage dragon king. That is Jairyun of the golden dragon race. If Jairyun takes Cohwal as her husband and becomes obsessed with him, constantly doubting him, with her higher cultivation level. Perhaps Coatrial's freedom of movement can be greatly reduced. I'm sorry for supporting you with ulterior motives, but I support you. In fact, I wasn't pleased with the Grand Prince's philandering ways. Thank you for your support. And about the human woman you mentioned seeing with the Grand Prince. Yes, that displeasing woman. Yes, that lady was originally meant to accompany me as per Grand Prince Sio's plans. It's just that the Grand Prince has been taking her around. So, if Senior Jiu achieves her realm and forms a marital bond with the Grand Prince, could you possibly leave that woman to me, considering you might be concerned about the Grand Prince meeting other women? Yes, that sounds good. Of course, the human woman mentioned to be accompanying Coatrial is likely Ohisio, who was supposed to accompany me, a term with a double meaning. Not implying a matrimonial bond, but literally meaning that if not for being trapped in this world, she would have continued to accompany me as a colleague and comrade. Anyway, if I can, through Jairion, separate Ohisio and Coatrial. Jairion said she saw them happily walking the streets together, but honestly, I am anxious just by not knowing what Coatrial might be doing to her. Hem. Suddenly, she shakes her head vigorously and exhales a faint energy. It's drunkenness. It seems she was a bit intoxicated from drinking the spirit wine. Sorry for showing you such an unsightly state. Not at all. I sincerely support the relationship between Senior Jiu and Grand Prince Sio. Thank you. I might have babbled some strange things in my drunken state, but I actually have something else to say. Please go ahead. The vast cold oath I bound with Coatrial should originally be formed in front of many witnesses, or in complete privacy. Did my presence cause a significant issue? No, there's no major issue. The reason people must witness the vast cold oath is to serve as witnesses to prove our marital bond. In other words, you are the sole witness to the marital bond between me and Coatrial. However, the vast cold oath formed today wasn't proper, as it was forced upon Coatrial in my moment of drunkenness and jealousy. She asks me, fiddling with her hair somewhat embarrassedly. When I become an integration stage demon king and have a proper wedding with Coatrial, as the sole witness of the vast cold oath, would you be able to witness our marital progression? So that's why she recognized me right away. I inwardly sigh softly. Nevertheless, Jairion's proposal holds no downsides for me. Yes, on the day when your vast cold oath with the Grand Prince is properly formed, I will definitely oversee the progression of your bond. Thank you. Jairion beams, expressing her gratitude. It seems I'm starting to see a way to deal with Coatrial. I had been frustrated, not knowing how to escape or follow Coatrial, who schemes all sorts of wicked plans. But today, after hearing Jairion's inner thoughts, I found an answer. Marry Coatrial off. After Jairion becomes an integration stage demon king and marries Coatrial, he will be caught by her strong obsession for hundreds of years, limiting his freedom of action. This will greatly increase the chances of achieving the goals I've set in this life. Of course, this means the heavenly lightning banner should not be placed in the mouth of the newlywed Coatrial, but rather in the mouth of the Black Dragon King Hyonium. While Coatrial is away, I'll meticulously prepare everything necessary for Coatrial to marry Jairion upon his return. I revise the goals of this life with determination. Author's note: teaming up to forcefully marry the villainous Lady Jairion to the romantic fantasy's male lead and taking the heroine for himself is the wicked mastermind, Seo Yun-hyun. Translator notes, donated chapter by Wang, thanks for the support. // Discord https://dsc.gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 196, Betrayal 4. The next day, I bid farewell to Coatrial, who transforms into his true form and flies away to another realm, from in front of the Sea Dragon Palace. Then I shall take my leave. Please, take good care of the Sea Dragon Palace in my absence. Whoosh! Immediately afterward, Coatrial rides the dark clouds and quickly flies far away. It's done. Finally, I exhale deeply and smile. Coatrial has finally left. Realizing this fact made me feel like I can finally breathe. The past 7 years have been days when it was hard to even breathe properly. Now I've finally got some breathing space. Of course, just because I've got some breathing space doesn't mean I'm going to stupidly just breathe. Coatreal might not have left any schemes against me, but who knows what he's left behind in the Sea Dragon Palace. Not just the Sea Dragon Palace, but also the Sea Dragon race, and even the surrounding aquatic demon race are all subjects of concern. Everything under Coatreal's influence is not to be trusted. Upon his departure, the Grand Prince instructed to leave his true blood with Seo Yunhyan and bestow an official title. After Coatreal left, the elders of the Sea Dragon Palace summoned me. Now that you have received the true blood of both the Grand Prince and an immortal beast, having reached the nascent soul stage, you will be granted the title of Great Leader of Many according to tradition. This is the Grand Prince's command, and refusal is not permitted. I accept the Grand Prince's decree. Thank you, Great Leader. Following Coatreal's command, I receive an official title from the Sea Dragon Palace. And as expected, what Coatreal left behind isn't just his blood. Since you are now of noble status, Sea Dragon Palace warriors will be assigned to guard you at all times. 10 nascent soul stage Sea Dragon warriors are assigned to monitor me around the clock. Additionally, as you have received an official title from the Grand Prince, you must fulfill the duties laid out in the decree he left behind. What duties? Primarily, it involves internal management of the Sea Dragon Palace, as well as assisting in several rituals. How should I proceed? First, we will provide you with the techniques needed for the rituals. Learn these techniques and follow their flow during the rituals. But now, instead of dealing with Coatreal's tactics, I have to learn the techniques provided by the elders of the Sea Dragon Palace. Also, the Sea Dragon Palace's sea ritual is in a month, so please quickly master the Sea Moon True Dragon transformation we provided within a month. Understood. Coatreal didn't just stop there. He imposed all sorts of social restrictions on me, making it impossible for me to step outside the Sea Dragon Palace while he is away. Heinous indeed, but amusing. Keying. I fiddle with the circuits of the Mad Lord laid out in the Sea Dragon Palace. The Mad Lord circuitry isn't merely for creating puppets. The circuitry spread throughout the wonderfully mysterious fortress, interconnected with his wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon. In other words, the amalgamation of all puppeteering technologies utilized throughout the wonderfully mysterious fortress is the Mad Lord circuitry I control. With the Mad Lord circuitry installed, this Sea Dragon Palace is no different from my own puppet. Of course, to use it as a real puppet, it will need much more modification, but for now, I'm satisfied with having control over the Sea Dragon Palace's seals, barriers, and various enchantments placed around it. The greatest utility of the Mad Lord circuitry is its ability to forcibly convert the opponent's magic artifacts or Dharma treasures into puppets of the Mad Lord. Therefore, I freely manipulate the entire Sea Dragon Palace, now virtually a puppet, and secretly send a message to someone without the other elders of the Sea Dragon Palace knowing. A ritual in a month. Surely, there will be more than 1 or 2 constraints prepared by Coatreal for me. But whatever sames he prepared will be futile. Because in a few days, not even a month, the Sea Dragon Palace will be in chaos. 3 days after I sent the message, I used the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts to evade the 10 guards assigned to me and arrive at a certain location in the Sea Dragon Palace. It's been a while since we last met. What do you mean a while? It's only been a few days. I welcome you, HWA, who has entered the Sea Dragon Palace by bypassing all its seals with my help. By the way, this time of day would be the peak of activity at the Immortal Demon Tower. Is it really okay for you to come? Well, my colleagues willingly let me go when I said I was meeting you. Why would they let you go to meet me? Did they figure something out? I'm not sure. It didn't seem like they figured out we're from the Heart Tribe. Rather, they even encouraged me, saying to do my best. Perhaps it's because you generously donated spirit stones last time. Maybe they think you might donate more. Oh, it must have been that. Well, those kinds of matters aren't really important. After all, my main job isn't as a musician at the Immortal Demon Tower, but as a Heart Tribe espionage agent. She says with a light smile. Then, will you lead me to Biknyon now? Let's do that. I nod with a reluctant face. As I said, I'll control the Sea Dragon Palace's seals to help you get out, but taking Biknyon with you is purely your responsibility. Yes, of course. I lead her, undetected by the elders of the Sea Dragon race, to a village spread with corals where Beek Nyong and his white goat race are living. Beek Nyong and the white goat race reside in a village made of coral reefs next to the sea dragon palace. The corals serve as pillars for the barrier, covering the entire village with a large bubble of air, and most of the white goat race adorn themselves with expensive corals and live luxuriously. UHWA seems startled by their opulent and peaceful appearance. What is this? Currently, Beek Nyong and his white goat race are living well, under whatever Cohal has cooked up. UHWA looks bewildered as she observes the luxurious and affluent white goat race and the other enslaved races being exploited throughout the village. Is Beek Nyong here? Yes, the most luxurious estate over there belongs to Beek Nyong. I point towards a grand estate within the coral village. She then strums her zither. Wung! Crimson rivers swirl around her. Soon after, she completely merges with the sunset, becoming one with the sunset herself. It's like she fuses with her own melody, similar to my treading heavens. Transformed into a river of twilight, she swiftly infiltrates Beek Nyong's estate. I also follow her. What greets me in UHWA is Beek Nyong, standing in the estate clad in blue attire, wielding a whip made of dragon scales. Welcome, Miss UHWA, and great leader. The yin and yang flow emanating from the collar around his neck naturally translates his speech into the demon language. UHWA, appearing bewildered and in the form of a crimson river, swirls around him and initiates a conversation. What on earth has happened? I came here to rescue you. Ah, Miss UHWA, there's no need for that. I'm very content serving under the Grand Prince right now. You're content serving under the Earth Tribe. I saw your kin outside abusing other enslaved races. What's going on? What do you mean, what's going on? According to the law of the survival of the fittest, we, now being the superior race, are merely enjoying our rightful privileges. What sort of nonsense is that? Have you forgotten the memories of being whipped at the cotton plantations? That was because we were weak then. Oh, anyway, I truly am grateful to you, Miss UHWA. If you hadn't approached me when I was just awakening my intent and guided me, I would never have reached last quarter. Last quarter? You call it last quarter while you go against my teachings and abuse innocent enslaved races. Innocent, they are guilty. What? UHWA, incredulously, shoots a piercing intent at Beek Nyong from within the river. They are weak, isn't that a crime in itself? What are you saying? Miss UHWA, you are like a master to me. You led me to this stage so you should understand more than anyone how much blood and sweat I have shed to reach here, how much effort I put in, what obsession and longing I had to become strong. Yes, you did work hard, however. Then, aren't those who are weak the ones who did not work hard? Currently, those serving under our white goat race are from races known for their laziness. We, the white goat race, have taken up the whip with tears to reform them. Stunned by Beek Nyong's twisted logic, UHWA appears to be at a loss for words. So before you appeared, your white goat race was abused because they were also considered lazy. Yes, sadly, that's the truth. The law of this world is the survival of the fittest, only that. I see. Swoosh. UHWA reverts from the river's form, standing before Beek Nyong. The upper half of her body remains undulating like the river, not fully revealed. Beek Nyong squints at the sight. UHWA speaks to him. You have been brainwashed. Someone has subjected you to severe brainwashing and suggestion. The owner of the Sea Dragon Palace, the one who kidnapped you, was its Cohal. However, Beek Nyong responds with an even more distorted face, retorting. Brainwashing? Don't talk nonsense. I have sworn loyalty to the Grand Prince of my own will. What? Honestly, you have never shown me your true face, even now, Miss UHWA. That's because heaven and earth tribes can torture souls to read memories, and it will be troublesome if my face is revealed. Didn't I say I would reveal my face and form a proper master-disciple relationship once we reach the heartland of the Heart Tribe? Given that UHWA was the one who led Beek Nyong to reach beyond the path by contacting him when he awakened his heart essence, their relationship seems akin to that of a master and disciple. Speaking of forming a master-disciple relationship, what did you do when I was captured by the Grand Prince, Miss UHWA? You kept saying you were harboring the Heart Tribe Esteemed One's strike within your heart essence, but you never used it once, did you? If you had used the Esteemed One's strike when I was captured, perhaps I could have reached the Heart Tribe territory with you. just as you said. Bignon's rebuke is met with silence from UHWA. Huh? I even think it's fortunate that I didn't go with you. Unlike you, who never showed your face until the end, that person welcomed me with a smile from the start and did not hesitate to teach me the techniques for controlling intent, even though I am from a lowly race. Moreover, unlike you, who was always just talk, the great prince liberated my white goat race and even gave us a position of dominion near the sea dragon palace. Even now, do you say I'm brainwashed? A moment of silence falls between them. Then UHWA speaks. I'm sorry. Ha, now you say. But, twang. She strums her zither. Simultaneously, crimson rivers overflow in all directions. You are indeed brainwashed. With nothing left for excuses, you resort to calling me brainwashed. Not brainwashed, you say? Then let me ask you one thing. What did you see in Cohrial's heart essence? Grand Prince's heart essence. I saw an idyllic paradise, fragrant and clean, much like the legendary peach blossom land. Crack. My jaw drops at Bignon's response, and UHWA too is momentarily speechless in disbelief. Shockingly, neither I, who have reached the realm of treading heavens, nor UHWA can detect any intent of lying in his eyes. He truly believes that Cohrial's heart essence is an idyllic paradise. Indeed, you have been brainwashed. To me, it seems like you, UHWA, have been brainwashed by that heart tribe esteemed one. Well, unable to listen anymore, I interrupt Bignon's rant. I too have once met a remnant of the heaven-collapsing esteemed one. Though powerful, he didn't seem like someone who would go around brainwashing others. Ah, right. Great leader, you were here too. Haha, you also reached the mid-stage of last quarter, right? Now that I see it was you, great leader, who brought UHWA, the Heart Tribe spy, to the Sea Dragon Palace. Bignon continues, looking at me. The Grand Prince instructed to closely watch over you, great leader, in his absence, and here you are bringing UHWA, a Heart Tribe spy, right to the Sea Dragon Palace. Are you betraying the Sea Dragon race? You? That's when it happens. Boom. The Crimson River surge, sweeping Bignon away and hurling him far into the distance of the estate. Kr Buhi. Bignon struggles to stand, barely keeping his eyes open as if resisting sleep, after being hit by UHWA's sunset wave. Is it not you who is the traitor, Bignon? What? UHWA's voice, filled with rage, echoes in all directions. Once, you swore to save all the enslaved races from abuse, to ensure no race like yours would ever exist again. Where is the Bignon who made those vows? You have betrayed yourself. Me a traitor? Don't make me laugh. You are the traitor, UHWA. You always acted so high and mighty, claiming to possess the esteemed one's strike, yet when it came down to it, you did nothing and left me to fend for myself. Enough, there's no need for long speeches. If that's how you see it, as the one who led you to last quarter, it's my responsibility to deal with this. Oh, now you want to act as the master. As an unworthy master, I'll beat the brainwashing out of you if I must. Twang thump. She strums her zither, and UHWA's performance begins. Her music is directed solely at Bignon. Thus, it has no effect on me, with all its power focused on Bignon alone. Normally, Bignon should have succumbed to sleep and wandered into a world of dreams in an instant. However, one of the ornaments Bignon wears emits light. Flash. A faint spiritual energy flows into Bignon's Behui, swirling around his upper dantian before bursting out from his forehead. Mental awakening. Bignon, who was about to fall asleep, uses a magic artifact to regain his composure. Yet seeing that technique, I shout, "You, that's a dangerous technique. It isn't a simple mental awakening technique. It resembles the technique I used to burn my upper dantian, or the one used by the Jin clan to infuse resentful souls into the upper dantian. A technique that, by igniting one's own mind, grants an immense consciousness in an instant. Keying. The size of the consciousness domain surrounding Bignon instantly expands, merging with his energy and infusing into his whip. Chalag. Last quarter, mountain-repelling whip. Kugagagung. The name he coins resonates through consciousness, swirling around in all directions. UHWA continues her performance with the zither, but Bignon, in the midst of mental awakening, resists her music and lashes out wildly with his whip. I too want to join their fight, but UHWA stops me. Do not interfere, this is our matter. Her will is so firm that I merely control the aftermath of their battle and stay put. Kugung kugigagung. Beeknyon is sacrificing his own lifespan to resist UHWA. Did he receive a longevity pill from Cohreal? It seems he is burning through his life, thinking a little reduction in lifespan is fine as long as it can be extended again. Whether it's because she is facing her own disciple, or because UHWA's technique isn't effective against someone who has overcome the sleep demon, UHWA fails to exert much force against Beeknyon, who is burning his life. In a prolonged battle, UHWA will naturally have the advantage. The problem is, this place is the village right next to the Sea Dragon Palace, the territory of the Sea Dragon race, and the commotion here will soon attract the elders of the Sea Dragon race. No matter how much I try to control the aftermath, it's impossible to completely evade the eyes of the Sea Dragon race's heavenly being warriors within their territory. Well, that works out. Since the commotion has already started, I plan to blow up the Sea Dragon Palace entirely, draw their attention, secure some time for the two, and use that as an excuse to escape the various restrictions placed by the Sea Dragon Palace. Just then, are you planning to help us? UHWA's mental message reaches me. There's no need for help. As I've said, this is a matter between me and my disciple. But soon, the heavenly being elders of the Sea Dragon race will come here. This is a matter between my disciple and I. No intervention from anyone else is needed. Realistically speaking. Moreover, I'm a spy of the Heart Tribe. My primary mission is to recruit awakening Heart Tribe members in the Heaven and Earth Tribe's territories and bring them to the Heart Tribe's territory. You are also a target of that mission. She continues. But you, being of both the Heaven and Earth Tribes, might not be interested in the studies of the Heart Tribe. So, if I can burn down this filthy territory of the Earth Tribe while dealing with my disciple, and at the same time show you the possibilities that the Heart Tribe can achieve, maybe you will become interested in the Heart Tribe. Twang thump. She grimly reveals her true self completely. Her face, which she has never shown to Beeknyon, is fully exposed. I advise you to escape to the outskirts of the Sea Dragon race's lake. I will now show you last quarter, the final moon, the realm called the third stage of manifestation. It's a declaration to show the next realm above treading heavens, and under normal circumstances, I would have done anything to witness that spectacle. But why is it that the moment I hear her words, I feel chills all over my body and see the celestial energy suddenly shift? The heavens, they are revealing the fate of calamity. I must flee immediately. Otherwise, I will face a great disaster. My instincts are telling me so. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth begins to vibrate ominously, warning me. Escape from the rain, she mentioned immediately. At the same time, the heavenly being sea dragons of the Sea Dragon race begin to appear outside the coral village's bubble. What is happening here? Who are you to cause such a disturbance in the territory of the Sea Dragon race? They growl at UHWA, baring their teeth and gathering spiritual energy, preparing their spells. However, she calmly strums her zither once more and advises me again. I'll say it again. I'm about to perform the third stage of manifestation, so please leave the domain of the Sea Dragon race's Cloud Heart Lake. I look up at the sky for a moment, considering escape. It's the right choice. However, no, I'll watch from the side. You are reckless, I'm telling you. You who are both a Heart Tribe and a member of the Heaven and Earth Tribes will suffer significant loss. I want to see the next realm with my own eyes, no matter what the cost. I'm curious, though, were you always someone of the third stage of manifestation? I was at the extreme of the middle phase of last quarter, and indeed, I was on the verge of entering the final moon of last quarter. She opens her eyes, which she had been keeping closed. Her eyes are tinged with the color of sunset, much like the crimson river she controls. With this state, using the strike implanted by the esteemed one as a beacon, I will burn my life and unfold the third stage of manifestation with my own hands for a brief moment. She looks at Beeknyon with her eyes tinged with sunset. It's enough to show this power to only my disciple and the filthy dragons of the Earth Tribe. I advise you again, stay far away. Since it's not performed with my own power, I cannot control it even if you are near. It does not matter. My eyes shine as I speak. If I can see the next realm, I don't particularly cherish my life. Well, if that's what you wish. Kagagugu. Beyond the bubble barrier, the heavenly being sea dragons try to restrain her with their spells. In an instant, the surroundings are filled with water, and she, with her eyes wide open, begins to strum her zither. Last quarter, the final moon. The realm beyond treading heavens. The power of the heart tribe known as the third stage of manifestation unfolds. That day, I understood why the heaven and earth tribes sought so desperately to exterminate the heart tribe and feared them, and why a minor tribe with fewer than 10,000 experts could compete for dominance in the bright cold realm against the heaven and earth tribes and earn an independent title. The entire world began to fill with the glow of sunset. Translator notes, early chapter release as I might not be able to update later. Last quarter refers to the phases of the moon. For those curious about the 2-day break, I took a break over the weekend to make up for the 2 refunded donated chapters. For instant chapter updates and notice on any breaks, join the Discord. // Discord https://dsc.gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord. Chapter 197, Betrayal 5. Am I being impulsive? Waking up from a state of wandering in her dreams for the first time in decades, UHWA ponders if her decision is the right one, even if it is the opportunity to sway more than 2 members of the Heart tribe, even if she can strike a blow to the filthy territory of the Earth tribe, even if the attack she is unleashing now will aid her when she properly reaches the third stage of manifestation later on. Is it really right to consume more than a decade's worth of her already short lifespan as a member of the Heart tribe for that purpose? However, the moment her hand touches the zither she had played for years, her worries melt away like snow. It's the zither she has plucked for decades, and the figure before her, Beek Nyon, is her disciple whom she had guided over the years. It is not pointless, nor is it impulsive, because, as the one who provided guidance, it is only right to take responsibility if one's disciple ends up in this state. She realizes the nature of the brainwashing that Beek Nyon is under. A powerful self-brainwashing. She doesn't know how that sinister dragon had boiled her disciple alive. But Beek Nyon strongly believes in his own brainwashing. Even if it's false, he wants to believe it is true. To break such a powerful brainwashing, an even more powerful shock is needed. My power alone is insufficient. To shock the heart essence of the Heart tribe, an even more powerful force is necessary. What is needed now is the third stage of manifestation. The Heart tribe members who have reached the third stage of manifestation are at best around 10,000. But in other words, those who have achieved the third stage of manifestation are indeed entities that the heaven and earth tribes fear and feel threatened by. Here I go. And then she begins to play. Everything under the heavens turns a crimson red. Kurung Kurarung. At Cloud Heart Lake, where the sea dragon race resides, there a strange thunderous roar rumbles. No, it's not the sound of thunder but something else. Yet despite not being the sound of thunder, the numerous nascent soul stage demon races living near Cloud Heart Lake perceive it as thunder. Because the force emanating from Cloud Heart Lake is astonishingly similar in nature to the heavenly punishments force that the demon races face numerous times during their cultivation upon reaching the nascent soul stage. In Cloud Heart Lake, a crimson heavenly tribulation is raging. Strangely enough, this heavenly tribulation is not coming from the sky, but from the bottom of Cloud Heart Lake, originating from the performance of an enslaved race. I circulate my spiritual energy, revealing the realm of treading heavens and resisting the crimson force striking down at me. Such a familiar force. Heavenly tribulation. This is a heavenly tribulation. The heavenly wrath I have faced numerous times over several lifetimes. It's then I realize why. Why, after seeing Jian Myohun's attacks last time, I recalled the strike of the heaven collapsing esteemed one. Jian Myohun's lightning reminded me of heavenly lightning, and the third stage of manifestation of the Heart tribe. This power, presumed to be beyond the realm of treading heavens, astonishingly resembles heavenly tribulation. With all my might, I stand against Yuhwa's heavenly tribulation, trying to capture how she unfolded the third manifestation. Of course, even merely capturing it with my eyes is overwhelming. But reading spiritual energy, reading intent, using the lightning predicting eye, I capture the power of the third stage of manifestation that UHWA uses. That is that so? The method to step beyond treading heavens is Kururung. Her zither melody is undoubtedly beautiful, but to me, it sounds like thunder. No, from the perspective of the Earth tribe, it is clearly the sound of thunder. However, to me, who possesses both the vision of intent and of the Earth tribe, it appears as nothing but beautiful art. Beautiful. Such perfection that spontaneously evokes admiration. A skill that inspires inspiration just by watching. And the will of UHWA. I feel enveloped in a strange ecstasy as I admire the beauty she manifests. Though it feels like my whole body is burning, I disregard it and endlessly watch her art. TSSSSS. Huh? I suddenly came back to my senses. Why, what? It's hard to regain consciousness. It feels like suddenly my sense of reality has become strange. It seems like something from my memory was cut off while facing the heavenly tribulation. I am in a daze. It's hard to regain my senses, as if I had dozed off momentarily. Have you come to your sense? The next moment, thanks to UHWA speaking next to me, I shake my head and stand up. Where is this? I look around. I can't help but let out a bitter laugh. The coral village has disappeared. No, not just the coral village, but the sea dragon palace as well has turned to dust, becoming merely what was once the sea dragon palace. All around, sea dragon race elders and warriors are collapsed and unconscious. The same is true for the white goat race from the coral village. And there Beeknyo is kneeling. Everyone at Cloud Heart Lake, except for her and me, is asleep. UHWA has a more haggard face than before with her eyes closed. I put everyone to sleep as part of my musical performance. For the heavenly being stage cultivators, it will take a day to wake up on their own. For the nascent soul stage, 10 days. For those below that, needless to say. Terrifying. I must have fallen asleep without a chance to resist, my memory cutting off at some point. Such a terrifying Heart Tribe member. If she travels with other powerful members of the Heart Tribe, no one will survive in their presence. Even more terrifying is that she had single-handedly put to sleep over 20 sea dragon race elders at the heavenly being stage residing in Cloud Heart Lake. There are 62 heavenly being stage cultivators among the sea dragon race, but the rest are following Cohrial's orders, active in various parts of the Earth tribe. The number remaining in the sea dragon palace is only a third, yet she has managed an absurd feat of exchanging 1 for 20. Reaching the third stage of manifestation of the Heart Tribe, can you really suppress even heavenly being stage practitioners in such an unbelievable manner? How can that be possible? The heavenly being and nascent soul stage members of the Earth Tribe here have all come to the immortal Demon Tower a few days ago and listened to my music in advance, so it was overwhelmingly easy to infiltrate the heart essence of those who remembered the melody. Indeed, sound techniques are like a poison that's hard to escape once their melody has been heard. The difference between UHWA's performance and general sound arts is that, typically, the influence of sound technique ceases once the vibration of the music ends. However, her musical performance can amplify and put opponents to sleep at any time, as long as the influence of the melody remains within their heart essence, not relying on the music's vibration. And true to her words, some nascent soul stage demon races nearby, who had never heard UHWA's performance before, are twitching, trying to get up. Of course, they pass out again as soon as she plucks the strings a few more times. So what are you going to do? We need to escape. The sea dragon race was caught off guard because they are not familiar with the Heart Tribe, but those of the Earth Tribe nearby who know about the Heart Tribe would have realized that there is a Heart Tribe member here after witnessing that strike. Right. I smirk bitterly, looking at the unbelievable strike that mingled with my fate. Looking up at the sky, my fate has changed due to her strike. And not for the better. Now I understand why the Heaven and Earth tribes despise and fear the Heart Tribe. The third stage of manifestation of the Heart Tribe is almost identical to heavenly tribulation, and I look at UHWA incredulously. I'm not sure if what I confirmed while looking at the celestial energy is correct, but facing the Heart Tribe's heavenly tribulation adds an additional type of tribulation for the Heaven and Earth tribes in the future, doesn't it? That's correct. That's why the two major tribes make such efforts to eradicate us. Indeed, an additional type of heavenly tribulation has suddenly been added to my fate. Previously facing only blue and golden heavenly tribulations, I now also have to face a crimson heavenly tribulation. According to the seniors of the Heart Tribe, a strike from a third-stage manifestation Heart Tribe member is almost identical in nature to heavenly tribulation, causing the heavens to be confused. Her explanation continues. Since a strike from the third stage of manifestation is also almost identical to heavenly tribulation, the heavens do not react if the person who receives the strike overcomes it successfully. However, if they fail to overcome the strike, the heavens perceive it as failing to overcome a heavenly tribulation, and upon their next ascension, send down a tribulation of the same nature as the strike from the Heart Tribe, but only once. Fortunately, the number of heavenly tribulations I have to face hasn't increased forever. But even if it is limited to once, the thought of having to face an additional type of heavenly tribulation is terrifying and horrifying. Fighting against a third-stage manifestation Heart Tribe member means the types of heavenly tribulations one has to face increase by one, limited by once. It's truly a dreadful affair, fitting the reason why the Heaven and Earth tribes would want to eradicate the Heart Tribe by any means possible. That's why I was trying to warn you, because you also belong to the Heaven and Earth tribes. Well, it doesn't matter. I chuckle and shake my head. Having one more type of heavenly tribulation to face is dizzying, but I am satisfied having glimpsed the next realm. Anyway, do you have a plan on how to escape? If I use my original power of the second stage of manifestation to fuse my body with my melody and escape. That's reckless. Since you showed me a realm beyond, let me return the favor. I concentrate my consciousness and then execute the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts in front of her, cutting off her perception. Flash. The moment I disappear from her view and reappear in front of her, she gasps in realization of the significance of the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. What is that? This is the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. You might be able to use it as well. Shocked by the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, her hands visibly tremble as she holds the zither. Did you create this technique? No, I also learned it. Who created this technique? My master, who led me to this realm. Please, could you introduce me to them? They reside in the lower realm. The lower realm. At those words, she wears a meaningful expression. I should report this to the esteemed one later. If we can invite such a person, our Heart Tribe can take a step further. That might be true. I can't help but think that Kim Young-hoon might indeed transform the Heart Tribe into an even more unbelievably powerful force, on par with the Heaven and Earth tribes. After repeating and trying out the method of the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts a few times, UHWA incorporates it into her performance, instantly transforming it into her own style. Having the talent to awaken as a member of the Heart Tribe, it seems incorporating it isn't too difficult for her. Having hidden herself in the form of her melody between perceptions, she bids me farewell and rises, taking the form of a river. I see Baek Nyong's body being carried up along with the river. Are you only taking your disciple? I've forcibly undone the brainwashing. Unless that dragon does it again, no further brainwashing should occur. If, despite all this, Baek Nyong chooses to stay, I will respect his will and send him back. However, if Baek Nyong wishes to take the remaining members of the White Goat race with him, then he will return to the Sea Dragon Palace with me, and we will take all the remaining members to the Heart Tribe territory. I see, understood. After bidding farewell to her, as she disappears using the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. Like the other dragons, I lay down and close my eyes. Kagagugu. From afar, outside Cloud Heart Lake, a tremendous surge of heaven and earth spiritual energy is approaching. It's obviously the Earth Tribe's 4-axis stage cultivators flying over, having seen UHWA's third stage of manifestation, and convinced that the Heart Tribe has invaded. With my eyes closed, pretending to be unconscious like the other heavenly being stage elders, I sink my consciousness to the very bottom using the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon. Kagagugu. The water of Cloud Heart Lake is entirely sucked upwards, and the cold air hits my skin. The vast consciousness of the 4-axis stage cultivator sweeps across Cloud Heart Lake, thoroughly searching everywhere. Where are you, you damned Heart Tribe scum? Come out this instant. With this, I smile inwardly. My objective is achieved. From the moment UHWA appeared, I intended to cause a disturbance. However, thanks to her causing an even bigger commotion than I expected, the Sea Dragon Palace is now reduced to dust, and the entire Sea Dragon race territory is thrown into chaos, ensuring the Sea Dragon race elders will no longer have the leisure to assign me tasks. I have escaped the social constraints left by Cohreal. Now, what's left is to freely contact some representatives of the demon races who had grievances against Cohreal. This is the real beginning of the betrayal aimed at the back of Cohreal. // Discord https://dsc gg/wetread. Link to donations in the Discord.